Jordan Buscarini inside the Sutherland's broadcast booth for today's game.
Welcome into Emery High School Baseball. It's here on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM. Jordan Buscarini alongside Aiden Mortensen. Beautiful day for baseball here at Emery High as we gear up for what should be a very competitive region contest. Aiden, as Emery gets set to welcome in the Richfield Wildcats. Kind of do or die time when you look at the RPI. These next 2 weeks are going to be absolutely monumental for where we're sitting as far as standings are concerned.
Yeah, when you look at a gauntlet of a region like Region 12, it's an absolute bloodbath. So winning every game as they present themselves is crucial for the Spartans. They got Richfield twice this week. They got a middle of the week break at Spanish Fork, but next week, that's one of the most fun times of the year as they make the trip to Carbon, and Carbon comes to town for a rivalry series.
Yeah, there's no question about it. These two teams are very similar. Emory comes in with a region record of 2-5, Richfield sitting at 4-6. But when you take a look at the RPI, that's where it really matters. Emory right now sitting number 7, Richfield at number 10.
Yeah, and you're wanting to play for that home field advantage come the opening round of the state tournament. That makes all the difference in a 3-game series, having your home fans behind you playing on a field so familiar to you. And the Spartans tend to play better on their home field, so it's going to be crucial for them to defend the field tonight and go and steal a win at Richfield coming up later this week.
Well, there's no doubt about it. And then again, as you alluded to, next week, it is very, very important when we take a look at the games against Carbon. There's going to be some extra meaning in a game that really showcases where these two teams are sitting. It's already the rivalry matchup, but then you tack on everything else, and there's some intrigue, to say the least, in that game.
Yeah, no, on paper, it feels like it should be a Carbon game, but when you go throw into every other factor, the travel, the rivalry aspect of it, we're in for a barn burner no matter what. Both of these teams are going to show up at their peak, and it's going to be an absolute showing for both squads.
We'll gear up for the first pitch coming in just a moment. We'll send it back to the studio for the national anthem and the starting lineups when we return. It's Emery High School Baseball on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
Trade in the old and get something new? If you've been driving by the dealerships, scoping out the selection, and you're not seeing what you want, Auto Farm Price Ford is here to help. Hi, I'm Justin Kennedy, sales manager here at Auto Farm Price Ford. Stop by today and let us pre-order your dream vehicle. You can choose every bell and whistle straight from the factory. Best of all, when your vehicle's done, it will be delivered right to the dealership, so stop by to Auto Farm Price Ford, 811 Westwood Boulevard. Let us order your dream vehicle today.
This is Dave
and Ryan
from Dave and Ryan's Movie Review.
Experience movies the way God intended them to be seen. On the big screen.
At the King Cole Theaters.
And action.
Whether it's stunning action,
heart-stopping horror,
tender romance,
gut-busting comedy,
or wholesome family flicks,
movies are always better
on the big screen. Connect on Facebook for instant access to showtimes and the latest blockbusters.
With showing 7 nights a week and matinees on weekends, you can immerse yourself in the magic of movies at the King Cole Theaters.
I'm here with Dr. Callie at Castle Valley Orthodontics to talk about common questions regarding braces. Dr. Callie, am I too old for braces?
No, never. We have quite a few adult patients that come into our office to seek orthodontic treatment, whether for the first time or to fix things that might have gotten back to being crooked from not wearing retainers. So age is not a problem. As long as the teeth and gums are healthy, we can do braces. Give us a call today. Castle Valley Orthodontics, 637-2222, and we will schedule you for a free consultation.
Emery High School baseball continues on the home of the Spartans.
News Talk 107.3 FM and 750 AM KOAL.
Getting set for the very first pitch of the afternoon. Emery again at home taking on the Richfield Wildcats. Getting the start on the mound this afternoon is going to be senior Trevin Gilbert. He's had an outstanding campaign for Emery so far this season. He has been the man out on the mound and a multi-sport athlete here at Emery High. He comes in with an ERA of 1.75. That's not too shabby, Aiden. He's been lights out all year.
Yeah, and you watch him warm up on the mound, calm and composed as can be, knowing what's at stake today against the Wildcats. And like you alluded to, he is a multi-sport athlete, quarterback for the football team, pitcher on the mound for the baseball team. He knows how to throw that ball, and he knows how to throw it well.
Trev comes in with a record of 2-3 on the mound and 6 starts so far this season. Again, a 1.75 ERA. We'll look at the field for Emery. Behind home plate, it will be Tice Larson filling in last moment for Bronx Olson. Tice is going to get the start behind the plate at first base. We'll see number 8, Hayden Abrams. At second, number 1, Hayden Christiansen. At short, number 24, Trick Jensen. And at third, number 25, Easton Stoker. The outfield for Emery today, out in right field, we'll see Bo Stilson. He wears number 12. Center field, number 7, Garrett Conover. And in left field, number 22, Peyton Nielsen. That's the lineup for your Emery Spartans. And leading off for the Richfield Wildcats is Garrett Wayman, who will also be the right fielder for Richfield. Wayman so far this season hitting .412 on the campaign.
Yeah, and the start of Richfield's lineup is a scary one. It's a murderer's row of batters. Most of them sitting above 400, one above 360.
And we're set to go. You look at Trevin Gilbert and what he's got in his disposal pitch-wise. He'll go fastball, change-up curve. Will utilize the slider from time to time. First pitch is sent to shallow right field, and this one drops for a base hit. And so the leadoff man on one pitch, Garrett Wayman, is aboard a single into shallow right field.
And Wayman popped that up perfectly, just where no one could reach it. A hassle for first base, a hassle for right field. Neither of them could get it. Had the chance to go foul, but the wind had other ideas, making it land fair. Early base runner on for the Wildcats.
Malik Fountain will now come to the plate. Fountain, a senior, hitting .244 on the season. One runner aboard. With no one on in an 0-2 count, you want to see Trev will typically go to a slider. That may be out of the equation now with a runner aboard. The first pitch, he goes high inside with a fastball for ball one.
And having that base runner early really impacts your pitching game plan. You got a lot more to keep in mind in these early batting situations. Got to keep in mind, Richfield is a team built on speed. They like to steal the bases, and they steal them pretty effectively.
Trev gets a long look over at first, and here's a high fastball. This one gets through the gap at short, and so now Richfield, 2 at-bats, 2 runners aboard. And stepping to the plate now is a third baseman, Jess Curtis. That one gobbles up over at shortstop. Trig Jensen might have had a play on it, took a bad bounce, goes right through for a single.
And when you play the Richfield Wildcats, you can expect death by single. That seems to be their game plan, and it works for them. You get on base, you put yourself in scoring situations, and you can capitalize on those. Now, what has haunted them throughout the year has been runners left on base, getting situations where you have 2-3 runners in scoring position, and just being unable to capitalize on those opportunities. That's why Richfield's record sits where it does.
I asked manager Chase Julian at the beginning of the game how many pitches we could see Trev. He says, I'd love to get 80 out of him. If we possibly could. Pitch count's low so far, but Richfield already threatening with a runner in scoring position. Fastball is sent into shallow right field, and this one is hauled in for out number 1. A throw over to third, not in time, and it gets by, but Trev did a terrific job of backing up third baseman, which is Easton Stoker, and so that prevents a run from scoring. But the first put out of the game for the Spartans goes to Bo Stilson in right field, one down. With an empty base sitting in between, Force could actually pull a double play to get out of this frame, but one runner aboard, one in scoring position, I should say, with runners at the corner for Richfield.
And what a read by Stilson out there in right field. Almost able to make the throw to third in time, just unable, but a great job by Gilbert backing up third base, making it so that it didn't allow any runners to bleed through.
Fisher Jensen now comes to the plate. Out of the cleanup spot, free base. Richfield will take it. Throw down to second, not even close. Emery's going to play it safe, and first stolen base of the ball game. That puts Fountain over at second. So Wayman right now at third, Fountain at second.
That's Fountain's third stolen base of the year. You see him across 3 sports. He's a multi-sport athlete. He's got a lot of speed behind him, and he showed it on that steal attempt.
Got a lengthy lead, and this pitch was off speed. Change goes down in the zone. A swing. Jensen gets a piece of it, sends it into foul territory for strike 1.
And Jensen is a scary batter to face. He leads the team in home runs with 2, batting .406 on the season. He is an absolute threat when he steps to the plate.
Force goes away with Fountain taking second, so now runners at second and third. Gilbert with the pitch goes low out of the zone. The count is now 2-1. Fourth pitch in the count coming up. Again, wonder how tempted Richfield will be to be aggressive out on the bags, knowing that Tice Larson is behind home plate rather than the traditional catcher in Bronx Olson.
It definitely inspires a bit more confidence in the managerial staff, knowing that you do have a bit of a rookie in that catching position.
Change up into shallow, and this one is handled by Trigg at shortstop for out number 2. Shallow infield pop, and Emery will take it. So Trev is 1 out away from getting out of a mini jam. Back-to-back pop-outs, and that brings the pitcher, Kelby Rickenbaugh, to the plate.
And, that's the kind of pop-up that you like to see. Keeps it shallow infield, doesn't allow the runners any room to try and make a break for home plate.
See what pitch Trev goes to. This one is low and out of the zone. Wanted to go curveball out of the zone. Couldn't get the chase, and now he'll start behind in this one, 1-0.
And Rickenbach, a .256 hitter on the season, has 45 plate appearances for the Wildcats this year.
He does have 10 RBIs. He can add to that with 2 runners in scoring position. 1-0 on the way, and he sends this one into the gap in right field. That'll score 1 run, possibly 2. Here comes the throw home, and Fountain will go back to third, but it is an RBI single into right field by Kelby Rickenbaugh, helping his own cause early on in this game with an RBI single.
And he adds to that total, like you said, continues to climb up, but the Spartans need to find a way to escape this inning and fast. 1 runner bleeding through already, another in scoring position.
Here comes the courtesy runner for the Wildcats, and that'll be Hayden Hansen, just a sophomore. Runners at the corners, 2 down here in the top of the first inning. Trevin Gilbert in a little bit of trouble. He'll now face Griffin Wayman, the left fielder for the Wildcats, and Wayman has had his struggles at the plate, hitting just a .122. Might be exactly what the doctor ordered, although he does have 4 RBIs to his name on the season.
Yeah, you want a bit of a confidence-building batter here, but like we've seen, Richfield can cause chaos at any given moment.
2 down. First pitch in the count. Wayman swings away, and he puts this one out of play behind home plate for strike number 1.
Had a few of the fans worried that was headed right for their head, ducking for cover, but strike 1, you're going to take it however you can get it right now in this jam.
Trev jumps ahead in the count. On deck for the Wildcats is Hayden Reed. Reed, a little bit of a different beast, hitting .229 on the season. And here comes the pickoff throw over to second. This one is not going to be, it's going to be in time for Emery, and the run tried to advance to home, and it's not in time, so Emery actually gets out of it. They tried to send the runner from first over to second just to create enough time to bring the run home from third. Emery not fooled, and so the Wildcats will strand 1. They do break the goose egg off of the board as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Due up for Emery will be Bo Stilson, Hayden Christiansen, and Hayden Abrams when we return on 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
It's fun! It's our favorite place.
Strike up family fun for everyone. Gateway Lanes. Families that play together stay together. And Gateway Lanes is your center for fun, cold beer, snacks, and great food. So let Gateway Lanes do the cooking with open and league bowling year-round and Club Bowl Thursday night, 9 till 11:30, with unlimited bowling including shoes. Since 1989, Helper's Hometown Bowling Center, Gateway Lanes, South Main Street in historic Helper, and bowlhelper.com. Let's roll.
It's time you started working close to home. GMS Mine Repair and Maintenance is looking for experienced miners, mechanics, electricians, and surveyors to fill local jobs. Stop traveling every week and let GMS Mine Repair and Maintenance find you a job closer to home and your family. No more leaving your family every week traveling to a work site. There are good paying jobs right here close to home, and GMS Mine Repair and Maintenance can help you get started today. Email your resume to kbarker@gmsminerepair.com. Your new job close to home is waiting for you.
You're listening to Emery High School Baseball on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
We go to the bottom of the first inning in this one right now. Emery trailing the Richfield Wildcats 1-0 as Kelby Rickenbaugh, the starting pitcher for the Wildcats, helps his cause right out of the gate with an RBI single. Although the Wildcats did leave one stranded, picking up 3 hits and 1 run. And leading things off for Emery is the right fielder, Bo Stilson, had the first put out of the day in right field.
And Stilson, great batter, averaging .404 at the plate this season.
Swings, and he finds himself down 0-2. He looked at the first, swing and a miss on the second, and Rickenbaugh has him exactly where he wants him.
And in Rickenbaugh's arsenal, he relies a lot on the fastball, but you can't underestimate his off-speed pitches. He's got a good break on him, but he struggles a little with control, throwing him too high or too low.
Yeah, he wants to stay with a fastball for the most part. You will see the curve implemented from time to time. He missed wildly that go-around, goes back to the fastball, and Stilson sends one into right field. That gets over the head of the fielder, and now Stilson is rounding second. He's going to try for a triple, and he will stand up to lead things off for Emery. A triple out to right field, went right over the top of Griffin Wayman's head, and Stilson has Emery in business immediately.
And if Stilson gets going, he can really get going. The kid's got wheels. He is the definition of an athlete. He will do whatever you need to do, and I'm sure all of his coaches across every sport he plays will testify to that. He is a true team player.
Definitely a quality at bat. Found himself down 0-2. He took the 0-2 pitch to get back in at 1-2 and then sends a fastball to right field. Hayden Christiansen now comes to the plate with one runner aboard at third and no down. Christiansen on the season, he's got 3 extra base hits and 7 RBIs, and he can add to that total right now.
Averaging 286 at the plate this season. He's who you want to see in this situation.
Rickenbaugh goes to the fastball low and out of the zone, and Hayden finds himself on top 2-0 here at the second at-bat of the ballgame for Emery.
And as a pitcher, giving up that stand-up triple to open up the inning, it really shatters your confidence a little bit. You got to battle back not only from that hit, but in your mind.
A 2-0 on the way. Hayden shows bunt, and this one gets back to Rickenbaugh, who drops the what would have been easy put-out, able to recover and makes the throw over to first in time for out number 1.
Yeah, you got to be thankful you were able to recover if you're a Richfield Wildcat fan, because that looked like it was heading for disaster as Hayden sprinted towards first base, just barely unable to beat the throw, earning the first out of the inning for the Spartans.
Now stepping up to the plate for Emery, it's Hayden Abrams, leads the team in home runs. In fact, has the only 2 home runs for Emery so far this season. All he needs to do is put one in the outfield, and that should bring the tying run aboard.
Any kind of sacrifice deep into the outfield will bring Stilson home. He's got the legs to do it, but knowing Hayden, he's going to want to get on base himself.
0-1 count on the way, and this one is low and in the dirt. Terrific stop by Fisher Jensen, who's behind home plate for the Wildcats. Again, Rickenbaugh, the pitcher. Just talked about Fisher Jensen behind home plate. Slate Wrights is over at first base. At second base, it's Hayden Reed. We'll look at the rest of the field for the Wildcats in a moment. Hayden swings wildly at a high fastball. He misses for strike 2. It's shortstop for the Wildcats, Bridger Vincent. Third base is Jess Curtis. In the outfield, it's right field, Garrett Wayman. Center field, Malik Fountain. And in left field, Griffin Wayman. The 1-2 on the way. Hayden lays off, and now the count's even 2-2.
A good check swing by Hayden. Didn't break the plane on that one. Able to keep his at-bat alive, 2-2 count.
Hayden's had a terrific senior season for Emery. Was dynamic out on the football field and has done wonders at the plate. Swings, puts this one close to the gap. That'll bring the run in. The throw over to first, not in time, and Hayden Abrams is aboard with a single. The throw over to first, gets behind, and now it's an easy second free base for Hayden Abrams, who has tied this game 1-1 in the bottom of the first inning.
And, that was what Emery needed to do. They needed to answer back as quickly as possible. You can't fall behind to a team like Richfield. And that's what they do with this across every sport. They build up that early initial lead, and they kind of coast the rest of the game, so you need to keep it neck and neck with them early. Don't allow them to build up that lead and make them play to your pace.
And so now stepping up for Emery is number 18, Tice Larson.
Leads the team in batting average, 469 on the season. That is such an incredible number, let alone for a junior.
First inning, Emery getting back into this game. Another runner in scoring position with 1 down, and Larson watches an outside fastball across the plate for strike 1.
And that's where Rickenbaugh is going to be able to battle back into this one, is his fastball. He needs to lay off some of those off-speed pitches, a little less trickery, try and go for more velocity.
Abrams gets a big lead, and this one goes low and in the dirt. And now we're looking at a 1-1 count.
And you got to give a lot of credit to Jensen. He is staying in front of that ball with ease. No matter where it goes, no matter how wild it looks, he's right there in front of it, playing the great wall behind home plate.
Rickenbaugh really going to the fastball early. Emery's been able to time it. Here's an off-speed high and out of the zone for ball 2. Count now 2-1.
And like we talked about earlier, he has the break on those off speeds. They have enough to fool these batters, but he struggles with that control. He's either putting them in the dirt or just above the zone. He needs to find a way to get that under control, or else Emery's going to keep teeing off of it.
2-1 count, 1 down, and this one is out of the zone for ball 3. So a quality at bat nonetheless for Tice Larson, who was a late fill-in at catcher, originally slated to be today's designated hitter out of the 4 spot. You talked about how dangerous he's been at the plate. Well, the runner in scoring position, a chance to give Emery the early lead. Swings, and this one will go foul, but we have catcher interference. And that will send Tice over to first base. So now Emery's got runners at first and second.
You know, by any means necessary, you're going to want to get on that base. Not necessarily how you plan on getting there, but you'll take it.
Well, he swung and he put it in foul territory, but made contact with the catcher's glove. So that'll send him over to first base. And a courtesy runner for Emery at first.
Now you're going to have a rattled pitcher and a bit of a rattled catcher now behind home plate. That's a combination that no team wants to see, especially this early in a contest.
Now Drake Jensen will step up, give a different look for Kelby Rickenbaugh. Trigg, a left-hander, stepping up to the plate with runners at first and second. On deck is Trevin Gilbert. Swing and a shot down the first base line, and this may clear the bases. This one is trouble. Rolls all the way back to the warning track. It was an excellent recovery by Garrett Wayman out in right field. I thought that was going to be major trouble. Turns out to be just a double. Only 1 run scores, but Emery now with runners at second and third. I'm highly impressed with the way Wayman was able to recover that out of right field.
Yeah, that looked like it was heading for sure disaster. Garrett Wayman able to recover a Bo Jackson-esque throw all the way from the right field fence, able to halt the runners, only allowing 1 to bleed through, but Emery takes the lead in pretty stunning fashion there off the double by Trigg.
So Trigg with an RBI double, now 2-1 Emery, as the stats continue to pile up here in this first frame. 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 error for Richfield.
Trevin Gilbert up at the plate now for the Spartans.
Always fun to see a pitcher that can help his cause early on in the game. And with 2 runners in scoring position and Emery up 2-1, he can do just that. 1-1 count.
Rickenbaugh did it for the Wildcats. Now Gilbert looking to get his back.
Trev swings, puts a ground ball over to second. Will bring 1 run in. He is thrown out over at first. But that is enough to extend the Emery lead early on, bringing the courtesy runner aboard, Jace Franson.
And would you look at that, the walkout song, All the Lights, Kanye West.
It's been the story of the day, right? As Rickenbaugh's ERA continues to rise, Trevin Gilbert with the RBI on the sack. Garrett Conover steps up. We have a runner at third, and he swings at the off-speed and misses for strike 1.
You know, right now you'd like to bring another runner home, but you're pretty okay if the inning ends this way. 1 left to board, but you take the 3-1 lead early.
So 2 down for Garrett Conover, center fielder who has continued to elevate his game all season long, hitting .219 on the season, and he watches a ball go outside. Counts now even 1-1.
And you look at this Emery lineup, you see a lot of underclassmen trying to take these starring roles in the lineup. And, you know, as a coach, you got to love to see the young guys stepping up.
Watches a ball go outside, and now it's 2-1. So the quality at bats continue to rise here for Emery in what's been a very productive bottom half of the first inning. Found themselves down 1-0, but have recovered nicely with 3 runs and threatening to add 1 more. Conover swings on the 2-1, puts it foul behind home plate, counts even at 2-2.
And, you know, you're just battling to stay alive right now. Anything you feel comfortable swinging at, you're going to take it. Try and foul it off or put it into play, but you don't feel comfortable, you can let it go by.
Rickenbaugh trying to limit the damage done. Again, Emery scoring 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 error that did allow Hayden Abrams to advance from first to second. The 2-2, and Conover does a terrific job of laying off the off-speed. Curveball missing on the outside. And now with the 3-2 count, knowing what Rickenbaugh has, As far as the pitches in his pocket, you can most certainly expect a fastball. Here comes the 3-2, and he blows it by Conover for out number 3. But Emery able to do some damage. 3 runs off 3 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on board. The Spartans take a 3-1 lead as we go to the top of the second inning. Due up for the Wildcats. It's Griffin Wayman, Hayden Reed, and Slate Wrights when we return on 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
JN Auto says it's time to get in the auto buying game. JN Auto is a game changer when you're looking for a new vehicle but don't want to pay the new vehicle price. By making JN Auto a part of your team, you can count on finding quality, gently used vehicles with manufacturer warranties and unbeatable prices. You just found the secret to finding the perfect vehicle. It's JN Auto. Check out their huge inventory at jnautosales.com. JN Auto in Huntington and Price.
Imagine a smooth, hassle-free journey to the front door of your new home with the Driggs Mortgage Team guiding you every step of the way. Hi, this is Greg Driggs. Our seasoned experts understand the ins and outs of home financing and refinancing. Come visit us at our new permanent address, 8 East Main in Price, where we plan to be a staple for years to come. Start your journey today. Call 801-427-3577. The Driggs Mortgage Team, NMLS number 272076, Equal Housing Opportunity. Driggs Mortgage Team is a DBA of Premier Mortgage Resources, LLC, NMLS 1169.
Emery High School baseball continues on the home of the Spartans.
News Talk 107.3 FM and 750 AM KOAL.
We go now to the top of the second inning. Emery with a 3-1 lead over the Richfield Wildcats, and Griffin Wayman will step back to the plate. He was up when Emery grabbed the third out of the inning in the rundown between first and second. Trevin Gilbert remains on the mound. Trev in that first inning did allow 3 hits and 1 earned run. And he goes low and out of the zone for ball 1 on the first pitch of the second frame.
I think seeing Griffin Wayman in the box is a welcome sight for Gilbert again, only batting 122 on the season. That's not where he's made his impact for this team. He makes it out in the outfield defensively. We saw him have that bullet of a throw from right field, but if he can get on base, he is a real threat with his speed.
Griffin in left, Garrett in right.
So too many Waymans.
Yeah, Garrett and Griffin. Garrett had that recovery play in right field, which was so impressive. Griffin tries to send this one down the first base line, and it just goes foul into the dirt. And now we're looking at a 2-1 count for Trevin Gilbert. No strikeouts through that first inning. Both teams able to put the bat to the ball. Emery just did a little bit more efficiently, plating 3 runs while Richfield left 1 stranded. This time Wayman sends a hot shot out into left field, and this one bounces off the glove, and that will count as an error as Peyton Nielsen tracked it well but could not haul it in. And now Wayman is aboard as he stands on second. I don't know if the wind affected that one or not. It looked like Peyton had a great jump on it. He's able to track it. It just bounced off the top of his glove.
Yeah, you got the wind blowing, you're looking up trying to track the ball, you got the sun in your eyes. A lot of environmental factors playing into that one, but ultimately Wayman able to reach second, leading off with a double.
Count that as E7, and Hayden Reed will now step to the plate. Reed, the second baseman, with a runner in scoring position. Gilbert takes a long look at Wayman. Goes to work with a fastball right down Broadway for strike 1. Anytime Trevin's jumped ahead in the count, he's been much more efficient out on the mound. Want to keep the pitch count low and already surrendering 3 hits, but only 1 earned run. 0-1 count. Big lead at second for Wayman. Trev goes off speed. This one out of the zone. Tried to work the changeup. Again, with no one aboard, when he's up at the count 0-2, you'll see Trev utilize that slider. For the most part, he wants to stick to the 3 main pitches. It's the fast curve and change.
Yeah, you're not wanting to get any fancy right now.
1 runner aboard, Wayman with a lengthy lead. Trevin goes back to the batter and throws this one out of the zone for ball 2. Count's now sitting 2-1, so a patient at bat for Hayden Reed.
You got to give a lot of credit to Tice Larson stepping in last second in that catching slot. He's doing a good job keeping that ball in front of him, tracking it down, no matter where it may end up.
Reed, a .229 hitter. Swings and puts this one right through second. And this should bring in Wayman. He's going to try to test the arm, and he slides home safely. So a hard hit ball right in between the gap between first and second. and Hayden Reed has an RBI single, and the Wildcats are back within one.
And that's a tough one to try and take in that second base slot for Christiansen, trying to dive for it, just unable to come up with it.
So now Slate Wrights towards the bottom of the order, batting out of the 8th spot, will step up.
Wright's batting .200 on the season through 49 plate appearances. He has 9 hits.
Well, they've notched just about every possible category has Richfield so far in this inning, with a run, a hit, and an error. And now with Wrights up to the plate, he has an opportunity to advance a runner into scoring position. That'd be the game-tying run. A lot of action early on in this one at the top of the second inning. Still 3-2, Emery with a 1-run advantage.
Yeah, if you're a fan of offense, this is the game for you it's looking to be.
Not a lot of swing and misses so far in this game. Trev gets a long look at the runner over at first and just misses out of the zone. That draws the count even at 1-1.
Yeah, and to your point, the plate vision of both of these two teams has been incredible. Everyone staying patient in the batter's box, waiting for their pitch, and when they swing, they're usually making contact.
That's typically what you see in the second outing of the week, not the first.
Yeah, by that second outing, both of these teams are a little more familiar with each other, so for it to be happening in the first, I'm excited to see what happens in the second.
Yep, that'll be this Friday on the road in Richfield as Gilbert misses out of the zone. Count now sitting at 2-1. No down, 1 runner aboard. And again, Slate Wright's the first baseman for the Wildcats up at the plate. Both teams have been patient, feasting on fastballs.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of success with the off-speed from either pitcher.
Swing, and Wrights puts this one into left field. It gets through the gap. And now a test over to third, and it's close play, but sliding up underneath the tag. And Hayden Reed is safe at third, while Wrights has himself a double. So 2 runners in scoring position here in the top of the second inning.
Now you find yourself in that jam again, this time 0 outs on the inning. You got to keep in mind this is going to be a lot of pressure on Gilbert trying to get his way out of this one, but it's a sticky situation.
And now we go to the bottom of the lineup. Bridger Vincent, the shortstop, comes to the plate. Vincent hitting .250. He does have 3 RBIs. Not a lot of opportunity for the 9-hole hitter to bring runs in, but he's got a chance for 2 here with 2 runners in scoring position and no outs. Trev goes to a fastball, and this one is beautifully placed out into center, and that should bring in the tying run. The throw home well short, although off his back, throw over to second, and Emery's going to get the out. So it turns out to be a double play, 2 outs now. But the damage is done as Richfield has tied this game 3-3 on the sacrifice by Bridger Vincent.
And you'll take the run off the sacrifice, but what you didn't want to see is Wrights getting picked off back at second. Got a little too risky with it, got a little too much of a lead out at second base. Ended up biting himself in the behind there. Like my dad said, too much sugar, you're going to get a cavity, and he played with fire.
He had a very lengthy lead over at second, trying to play the game, and the throw was right on the money for Tice for out number 2.
You got to give a lot of credit to Tice there. That was a beautiful throw.
That takes us back to the top of the lineup. Garrett Wayman, the right fielder, who started things off with a single. He's 1 for 1 with a run already in this game. He represents the go-ahead run for Richfield here in the top of the second. 2 down, 1-0 count.
And it's been an exciting game so far. Runs up plenty. The offense is clicking for both of these squads.
Now Trev does get the call for a strike, and so the count is even at 1-1.
Now you have those bases cleared. You have a lot less to try and manage as a pitcher. This is an ideal situation after bleeding 2 runs.
This one goes foul down the third baseline. Count is 1-2. With no one aboard, we'll see if Trev does go to the slider or not.
He definitely has the leeway to experiment now. He's ahead in the count. No runners on base. He can try and throw a little trickery in there.
A 1-2, 2 down. No one aboard here for the Wildcats. They've tied this game at the top of the second. And Trev gets it on the corner. He went to the slider and he draws the strikeout. How about that? Trevin Gilbert sits down. Garrett Wayman, who was not happy with the third strike call, Damage is done. The Wildcats have tied it up. It's 3-3. In that inning, they scored 2 runs off 2 hits, 1 error, and no one left on base. When we return, the Spartans will go Easton Stoker, Peyton Nielsen, and then we flip back to the top of the lineup with Bo Stilson. 3-3, bottom of the second, coming up when we return.
We still believe in innocent until proven guilty. Oliver Law is committed to making sure your rights are protected and seek for the best possible outcome for your criminal case. We've helped countless clients get through their legal troubles, so if you or a loved one feel that you have no one to turn to, you do. Oliver Law in Price. Everyone deserves a great defense attorney. 435-637-6060 or go to robertoliverlegal.com to request a free consultation. Robert Oliver, passionate about defending the underdog.
Keeping your car in proper running order takes time and effort to maximize the life and performance of your vehicle. Your vehicle is a necessity to your daily life. Complete Auto Repair Service, or CARS, in Wellington understands a vehicle working properly is a vehicle without worry. From the little things like headlights and wipers to regular maintenance or even bigger problems. Take a breath and trust your skilled hometown mechanic at CARS in Wellington. You can put your full confidence in their team and they'll get you back on the road in no time.
You're listening to Emery High School Baseball on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
Come back in as we go to the bottom of the second inning. In this game, so far, it has been highly entertaining. A lot of offense for both teams early on in this one. Kelby Rickenbaugh, the pitcher for the Wildcats. The batter for Emery in his first at-bat of the game is Easton Stoker, the third baseman. And Easton, and the action that he has seen this year, has been highly effective for Emery at the plate.
That he has. 444 on the season through 4 games played. So not as much experience this season as he'd probably like to see, but he's made the most of his opportunities.
There's a lot of youth on this Emery team, that is for sure. And the count right now is sitting 1-2. We look at the pitching matchup so far. Rickenbaugh, 1 inning. He's given up 3 hits, 3 earned runs, no strikeouts, 1 free base off catcher interference. And he has his first strikeout as Stoker was caught looking off the on the off speed, and 1 down. That's the first strikeout of the game. Both pitchers with 1 K so far, and both have been looking.
And it was going to be a game of which pitcher could figure out that off speed first, because that's a dangerous weapon to add when you're relying mainly on that fastball. But both pitchers in the second have been able to put things together. A lot less misses we're seeing from those sliders, from those curves.
Peyton Nielsen now to the plate for the first time in tonight's game, and he watches strike 1 go by and ball 1 go by. Peyton was originally tagged just to be playing in the field, but had to slide into the 9-hole hitter as Emery got rid of the designated hitter. And Peyton, showing patience, now jumps ahead in the count 2-1.
And on the season, Peyton's batting .103, but a chance to increase that average at the plate.
Check swing. Did he go through? Yeah, I'm not sure if he did or not. I believe he did. So the count's actually 1-2.
Now, this is an area where Rickenbaugh can succeed. We saw him toying with that off-speed in the first at-bat of this inning with Easton Stoker. Now a chance to catch another batter with it. He didn't rely on it too much because it wasn't breaking the way he'd like early on in this game, but now he has a little free rein to do what he pleases.
Leave the count down. Now they fixed it. It is 2-2. What happened on that last pitch is Nielsen went with a check swing. I think it bounced off the bat and hit the catcher on the hand. So that's where we got the foul ball. Peyton swings. He puts this one into the outfield. Well hit. Peyton sends it all the way back, and this one touches the warning track and off of the fence. How about that? Peyton Nielsen, batting out of the 9th spot, is aboard with a rocket hit into left center field, and Emery's got a runner in scoring position as we go back to the top of the lineup for Bo Stilson.
And you'll take that. Peyton looked happy as can be as he stands on second base. What an absolute missile out to the left center wall.
Sent that one all the way back, bounced off the warning track, found the fence.
For a second, I thought that had enough power to go over the fence. I was really excited, but you'll take the double.
No question. 1 down here in the bottom of the second inning. Game tied 3-3. Emery threatening with 1 runner in scoring position. Bo Stilson had a leadoff triple to get things going last inning. Hasn't taken long for both teams to go through the lineup once, and Stilson swings at the first pitch, and he puts it into right center. This one will surely bring in the go-ahead run on an RBI single for Bo Stilson, who keeps firing on all cylinders at the plate as Peyton Nilsson touches safely. Emery leads 4-3.
And what a good example of plate vision there by Bo Stilson. He stays patient. He knows what pitch he's looking for. He sees it first throw, swings on it. Nothing too fancy. Just a nice little dink into short right center field.
Aiden Christiansen popped out on a bunt. His first at-bat in the game, going back to last inning. There's a steal attempt. Stilson got a great jump. Slides head first and in underneath the tag. Was a terrific throw from the plate over to second. Fisher Jensen was quick off of the throw, but a beautiful steal and an ideal slide, and Stilson is now sitting at second with a stolen base.
And what a sprint by Stilson. Up to 7 stolen bases on the season now. Good for third on the team.
Emery with another runner in scoring position. One down. Pitch from Rickenbaugh. It's a fastball well out of the zone. And Hayden watches it go by to even the count at 1-1.
And Rickenbaugh just looking a little rattled after how this inning has started. We saw that in the bottom of the first as well, but he was able to recover and put the inning away.
Big lead for Stilson over at second. Rickenbaugh misses out of the zone low. Count now 2-1. On deck for Emery, it's Aiden Abrams. He has an RBI in his first at-bat as well. So here's a pitch low and out of the zone for ball 3. So Christiansen has done a terrific job once again running the pitch count up, sitting at 3-1, and now a definite hitter's count. Expect a fastball well in the zone. Pitch out of the zone in the dirt, and this will not only lead to Christiansen taking his free base, but also Bo Stilson able to advance from second to third as that ball was in the dirt. Very difficult for Fisher Jensen to pull it out, and Emery's got runners at the corners as Hayden Abrams will step up.
And my goodness, in a situation like this, Hayden Abrams is the last person you want to see. Like we said earlier, he leads the team in home runs. There are only 2 home runs of the season, but he looks like he could do it again. He's swinging with a lot of power, as they call a mound visit.
Well, we've talked about the free bases. Outside of the catcher interference, that's the first true walk for Kelby Rickenbaugh this game. And it looks like we will see a pitching change. So the Wildcats are going to swap things up. Score right now, 4-3. Emery in control, and they're looking to threaten yet again. Runners at the corners for Hayden Abrams. When we return on 107.3 FM and 750 AM, your home for Emery High School Sports.
At Desert View Federal Credit Union, driving away in your dream car is as seamless as the open road. With personalized lending solutions and branches in Huntington and Farron, getting the financing for your new car, truck, or SUV is easy. Desert View Federal Credit Union can even finance RVs. Experience the credit union difference. Go talk to a loan officer today.
Membership and eligibility apply. Loans on approved credit. Member NCUA.
At Desert View, it's all about you.
At Price Pediatric Dental, they help patients stay in excellent oral health. With a focus on preventative care, Dr. Markham, Dr. Lund, and Dr. Bod will take the time to get to know each of their patients and create a plan for lifelong oral health. Proper dental care in children's teeth will set the groundwork for a healthy set of permanent adult teeth in the future. They recommend that you visit your dental office for a cleaning twice a year, keeping your child's mouth healthy and clean. Call 637-9590 to schedule an appointment today.
Picture this. A sudden burst pipe, flames engulfing your kitchen. Disaster strikes when you least expect it. But fear not, because Restore Wizard of Price is here to save the day. Their team of restoration experts is ready to tackle any fire or flood emergency from start to finish. They're not just here to fix the damage, they're here to restore your peace of mind. Don't let disaster catch you off guard. Call Restore Wizard of Price, 637-9165. Restore Wizard, the magic of a fresh start.
You're listening to Emery High School Baseball on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
to the bottom of the second inning. Emery up 4-3, looking to add to their total as Richfield has brought in Garrett Wayman, who was playing out in right field. They've moved Rickenbaugh over to third base in place of Jess Curtis. And up to bat right now for the Spartans, Hayden Abrams, who watches strike one go by.
And you don't want to see Rickenbaugh out this early if you're a Wildcats loyal. Leads the team in ERA. From there, it gets a little shaky in terms of pitching staff.
Oh, he is responsible for the two runners aboard, and Wayman goes fastball right down the gut. Abrams swings and misses and finds himself down 0-2. So the story not completely written on Rickenbaugh just yet. He gets through 1 1/3.
And at the same time, pulling Rickenbaugh might be the good decision. They need to throw something a little different to the Spartans because they were teeing off on Rickenbaugh there late in the inning.
Nice lead for Christiansen over at first. Abrams swings, protects the plate on the 0-2 count, and puts this one deep into foul territory behind home plate. We'll go 0-2 all over.
Landing all the way over in the softball field. Shows what kind of power he's bringing, though, with that swing.
Again, he's gone deep not once but twice so far this season. He's got 14 RBIs to his name. He's had a very productive senior campaign for Emery going back to the football season. And he watches the outside pitch. Hayden Christiansen will easily take second base. Didn't even have to use a slide. And so now a free base for Hayden Abrams. A 1-2 count, one down, two runners in scoring position.
Now, despite his 7.69 ERA, Wayman leads the team in strikeouts with 28 on the year.
Well, he could definitely use one here. The 1-2. Abrams swings and puts it foul again behind home plate. So now the count remains 1-2, still one down. On deck for Emery is Tice Larson. He got a free base on the catcher interference in his first at-bat last inning. Emery leads 4-3, bottom of 2. And what's been a high-action game so far. Here's a poke down the third base line. The throw home. It's Wild sliding underneath the tag. It's Bo Stilson. And Hayden Abrams has another RBI. And Emery extends the advantage 5-3 on the poke over to third.
And Jensen looked a little frustrated on that throw. Wasn't quite where he wanted it. A little over his head. Unable to make the tag in time. As Emery builds on their lead, you got to give them a lot of credit. When Richfield has responded or put runs on the board, they've responded back in kind and then some.
Runner at second. That is the last runner that Rickenbaugh would be responsible for. As the score is now 5-3. Emery well on top now. The offense firing on all cylinders. And Tice Larson, who again had the free bag last go-around, hitting cleanup with two runners aboard. Here's the off-speed inside beautiful curve thrown by Wayman, and he gets the call for strike one. Boy, that was a pretty pitch on the inside, trying to jam up Larson for a potential double play ball. Instead, Larson lays off, and he takes strike one. Big lead for both runners, and tries to go inside on Larson this time. Tice is aware, lays off, and we're all even at 1-1.
And on that last curve, you could hear a very audible whoa from everyone here in the St. Louis broadcast booth. That was gorgeous.
1-1 count, went fastball inside. Tice is crowding the plate. Righty watches another one go by, and now we're looking at a 1-2 count with one down. One runner in scoring position, two aboard. On deck for Emery, it's Trig Jensen. He had an RBI single in his first at-bat of the game, poking one into the outfield.
Right now, you're just trying to limit damage. You've given up 2 runs already this inning. You're just trying to get out of any more potential runs.
Larson calls time. He's granted time right before the pitch, so he's able to step out of the box and regain his composure. Counts 1-2. 1 out, 2 aboard. Only the runner at second would count for Rickenbaugh. Wayman's got his own runner to worry about at first, and he goes outside on the off-speed. He misses, and the count's even at 2-2.
Doing a good job staying alive. He's battling, and the pitch count continues to run up for Wayman.
And a little bit of a jam to work with coming in a relief effort. Larson protects 1-2, goes foul. We'll do it all over again.
Yeah, at this juncture with the count sitting at 1-2, or 2-2, excuse me, you're trying to stay alive in the batter's box. Anything that looks like it has a chance of being called strike, you're going to be taking a swing at it, trying to put it in play or fouling it off.
Emery with 3 hits in this inning. Larson swings on the outside, and he misses for strike 3. So it doesn't take Wayman long to get his first strikeout, and now he's 1 out away from really limiting the damage. Stepping to the plate is Trig Jensen. He's 1 for 1 with an RBI single dating back to the first inning.
And you're going to want to try and hit something into one of those gaps, bring Hayden home, cushion that run just a little bit more. You go into the top of the third with a 6-3 lead. You're going to feel pretty good about that.
Wayman did a terrific job of utilizing the inside zone, trying to jam up Larson, and now he goes off speed outside, swing and a miss for Trig Jensen. A brilliant job from Garrett Wayman, trying to just minimize the damage and keep Richfield in this game.
You know, he got thrown into a very tough situation. You got to give him a lot of credit. He's maintained his composure, and he's played smart up there on the mound.
2 runs for Emery in the bottom of the second. Trying to get more. Here's a weak ground ball hit to second, handled for out number 3. So Wayman comes in and does limit the damage again as Richfield was in a bit of a jam. Instead, Kelby Rickenbaugh goes 1 1/3. He allows 5 earned runs. Emery in the inning, 2 runs off 3 hits. They leave 2 stranded, and they'll take a 5-3 lead into the top of the third inning. Due up for the Wildcats, Malik Fountain, Jess Curtis, and Fisher Jensen. Emery by 2 as we go to the top of the third when we return on 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
Picture this. A sudden burst pipe, flames engulfing your kitchen. Disaster strikes when you least expect it. But fear not, because Restore Wizard of Price is here to save the day. Their team of restoration experts is ready to tackle any fire or flood emergency from start to finish. They're not just here to fix the damage, they're here to restore your peace of mind. Don't let disaster catch you off guard. Call Restore Wizard of Price, 637-9165. Restore Wizard, the magic of a fresh start. When it comes to doing spring projects around the house, I like to do it myself.
You mean we. You, me, and Central Commission. Honey, you know you're all thumbs.
Guilty. So that's why we get all the helpful advice from Central Commission needed to get our DIY projects done right.
Plus all the lumber, hardware, plumbing, electrical, paint, and more at just one store. And at prices we can afford.
See the helpful pros today at Central Commission, North Main Street, Helper.
435-472-5579.
Emery High School baseball continues on the home of the Spartans.
News Talk 107.3 FM and 750 AM KOAL.
We go to the top of the third. Emery 5, Richfield 3. Leading off is Malik Fountain, the center fielder. He's 1 for 1 with a single already. Second time through the lineup for Trev and Gilbert. So far, Trev's gone 2 innings, allowed 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Richfield did take advantage of an error to plate that third run. 1 strikeout for Trev up to this point. Fountain, again, one of those very accomplished athletes at Richfield, and he watches strike 1 go by as Trev works the middle of the zone for strike 1.
And Trev finally getting his stride. He was struggling initially early in this contest, but midway through the second, he seemed to really figure out these Richfield batters, put on a much better showing in the bottom half of the second inning.
Fountain swings and puts one in foul territory. He does have 3 extra base hits on the season. He's gone yard 1 time, so he does possess that power out of the 2 spot. On deck is Jess Curtis, who started his afternoon at third base before Rickenbaugh was removed and then put over at third from pitch. 0-1 count for Fountain. He swings, and this one is a very light fly ball snagged down low by Trig Jensen for out number 1.
And with Richfield, you want to get through these initial 4 batters because that is where a lot of the power on this team lies. That's where a lot of the best batting averages lie. And stepping up to the plate now is Jess Curtis, batting .360 on the season through 55 plate appearances. He's come away with 18 hits and 8 RBIs.
May have been a weak fly ball for Fountain over to short, but still a weird angle. And you got to remind yourself, Trig's just a sophomore making that play over there at short. Got a lot of time as a freshman out of the field. He's done a terrific job. That's a tough play to make for out number 1, and Trevin's going to work the strike zone almost immediately. He fires in a fastball for strike 1 on Curtis. No one aboard. Trev seems to be finding his rhythm, pitching to contact. This one is hit down the first base line. It goes foul for strike 2.
And you got to like the hustle you're seeing from Emery out there. You got both Stilson and Abrams chasing after that ball, trying to snag it, just lands in no man's land, deep out in foul territory. But like you said, Trevin's really starting to find his groove right now. That fastball is looking sharp as ever.
Again, you talk about accomplished athletes at Emery High School. His senior campaign has definitely been one to remember. The quarterback spot taking Emery all the way to the state championship this past fall.
Yeah, and that's no small accomplishment either. And an Emery team that wasn't expected to do much, they exceed expectation. It's all in part thanks to Trevin's leadership out there on the field, and he's looking to show very similar poise up on the mound and in the dugout for the Spartans.
Goes off speed on the 0-2, just out of the zone. Count now 1-2 as Curtis steps back in. No one aboard, one down here for the Wildcats in the top of the third inning. Goes off speed, ground ball. Trigg able to slide, picks it up, makes the throw over to first, and it's just not in time. Boy, what a play by Trigg. It's short. Tried to make that toss over to first base. Definitely a tough play to make. Hayden couldn't scoop it out, and Richfield has a runner aboard on a hit by Jess Curtis over to the shortstop.
And the fact that there was even a chance that was going to turn into a play is incredible. That looked like it was going to be a surefire single, but they put it in doubt for a second. The athletic play of Trigg out in shortstop, showing why they're sticking him in that slot at such a young age.
Wind blowing in through right field and in between first and second base. We'll see if that plays a factor. Double play ball would end the inning, and here's a hard line drive right up the gut into center field. And now the Wildcats have two runners aboard with one down.
Bouncing right off the glove of Gilbert. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that ball flying near my face. Just a real powerful line drive down the center field line.
So two hits here in the third inning, and Kelby Rickenbaugh, who was on hold for the loss, if Richfield doesn't work their way out of this deficit that they are faced with, will step to the plate. Courtesy runner coming in for the Wildcats as Fisher Jensen will head to the dugout.
Right now, like you said, Rickenbaugh really batting for something more than just his batting statistics. He's got the win on the line or the loss on the line. He's trying to do himself a favor at the plate. Was able to do so in his last appearance, coming away with a single.
Always love when pitchers can take matters into their own hands at the plate. You don't get that anymore in Major League Baseball due to the designated hitter going through both leagues. You get it in high school. Here's a shot over to first. Abrams is able to knock it down. He picks it up and steps on the bag for out number 2. Runners do advance. Richfield has 2 in scoring position. And Emery trying to get out of this jam as they have 2 down.
And the dust is flying on the field today. The wind blowing makes it fielding even the easiest ground ball a tough task.
So Gilbert has allowed 7 hits so far in this game. Still only 2 earned runs. There is an open bag, and he goes off speed, high and out of the zone for ball 1 on Griffin Wayman, who reached due to E7 earlier on in the game. Wayman did send a shot out to left field. He definitely got a piece of it. He sent it for a ride. Might have been helped out by the wind, but it bounced off of Peyton Nilsson's glove, and that's how Wayman reached. Ended up scoring as well. He swings, and this one goes foul out of play. Counts even at 1-1.
That one goes soaring all the way into the outfield of the softball field. The wind starting to pick up just a little bit more here at Spartan Field.
Top of the third inning. Emery still leads 5-3, but Richfield threatening with the tying run sitting at second base. Trev this time goes low, just missed the zone. Counts now 2-1.
And you can pull out the strikeout here, force an easy ground ball, any kind of pop fly. You want to keep this play easy because anything that turns a little risky could quickly turn into disaster for the Spartans with, like you said, 2 runners in scoring position, tying run at second base.
Bottom of the lineup's been productive for Richfield. Wayman swings, and this one again will go foul. And now Trev is 1 strike away from stranding 2 runners in scoring position. Might be a big spot in this game at the top of the third. Emery up 5-3.
And as a manager, you got to love when the bottom of your lineup is going to work, kind of showing the top of the lineup what's what.
2-2. Gilbert able to just get a piece of it as Wayman, so we'll go 2-2 all over again.
Battling to stay alive in the box is Wayman.
2 2/3 innings so far for Trevin Gilbert. And again, talked about the pitch count with manager Chase Julian pregame. He said, hey, we'll get as much as we can out of Trev. Won't see him again for the rest of the week.
It's an arm where when you're using him, you don't want to retire him early. You just want to let him go to work, battle through those struggles, and he does it very well. He's very efficient. He gets himself in some jams, but he's able to recover.
He's been an ace all season for Emery, trying to get out of the jam, and another fly ball. This one takes a bounce in between about 3 or 4 lawn chairs behind home plate, and we'll do 2-2 all over again.
I don't envy their position down there. You may get the behind the plate view, but you also get the behind the plate risks.
Yeah. Wayman staying alive. Count remains 2-2. 2 outs, 2 runners aboard for the Wildcats. Gilbert. And we have strike 3. Wayman swings and misses. Couldn't tell if that one had gone off of the bat or not, but regardless, Tice Larson was there to snag it, and Gilbert strands 2 for the Wildcats on a very, very big pitch. 2 runners in scoring position with Emery up 2, and Trevin Gilbert gets out of it. The Wildcats threaten, but the score remains 5-3. 2 up for Emery. Trevin Gilbert, Garrett Conover, and Easton Stoker when we return on 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
At Landon's Diesel, they understand the heartbeat of your diesel truck. Whether it's the rig that powers your livelihood or the everyday vehicle that drives your life, the trained technicians at Landon's Diesel are here to keep you rolling. Plus, with 24-hour towing service, support's just a call away, anytime, day or night. Drive into Landon's Diesel for expert care tailored to you and your truck, because when your diesel needs expertise, Landon's Diesel is always here.
We're not going out on a limb when we say,
I want to go to Juniper.
Juniper Kitchen. Fantastic food, fun atmosphere. Known for their made-from-scratch pizzas, Juniper has the very best pastas, burgers, salads, wraps, hoagies, paninis, appetizers, loaded sodas, desserts, vegan and vegetarian options. Dine in for lunch or dinner, Tuesday through Friday, 11 till 8. Saturdays, noon till 8. Order online at juniperkitchenutah.com with DoorDash delivery. Stop beating around the bush for a great meal.
I want to go to Juniper.
Juniper Kitchen and Price.
You're listening to Emery High School Baseball on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
5-3, Emery with the lead as we go to the bottom of the third inning, and Trevin Gilbert, the leadoff man for Emery. He does have an RBI going back to the first inning, and Trev watches strike 1 go by. The pitcher for the Wildcats is Garrett Wayman. He got the Wildcats out of a jam last inning, so he's gone 2/3 of a frame. Allowed 1 hit. He's got 1 strikeout as well.
And he's looking to continue that good performance here into the bottom of the third inning. You need to keep the Spartans scoreless here after they held you scoreless in the top of the third.
Gilbert pitching has gone 3 complete frames. He's allowed 7 hits, 2 earned runs, and he's fanned 2 batters. Looking to lead off with a hit here. He swings and pops one up. It's shallow down the first baseline, but it drifts foul out of play for a strike.
And the weather conditions today have been coming into effect with some of these plays, whether they be trying to catch the pop fly out in foul territory or even out in regular outfield. It's been a struggle all afternoon.
2-2 count. Wayman's had great location on his pitches. Puts this one in the zone. Gilbert definitely gets a piece of it, sends a hard grounder over to third. Rickenbaugh picks it up and makes the throw over to first in plenty of time for out number 1. Slate writes with the sure glove over at first base for the Wildcats, and Gilbert goes down on a ground ball. 1 out, Garrett Conover steps to the plate.
Yeah, and Trevin just 0-2 on the day, so his pitching performance hasn't necessarily echoed his batting performance, but still plenty of baseball left to be played.
Does have an RBI.
True. Especially with how fast the offenses have been moving for these two teams. I wouldn't be surprised to see him up at the plate 2 or 3 more times.
Conover swings at the first pitch. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout in his first at-bat. Strikeouts have been few far and in between. 2 for Richfield, 2 for Emery. Rickenbaugh with 1, Wayman with 1. Now an inside pitch evens the count at 1-1.
It looked like that slipped out of his fingers as he was trying to throw a little too far left than you're used to seeing from Wayman.
Easton Stoker is on deck for Emery. Conover swings and misses for strike 2. So the whip rate for both teams has been definitely low today. They've put a lot of balls in play, trying to force the filled to make the outs, and really it's been close to error-free baseball. We have just one for both teams. And Conover watches an outside pitch. He gets rung up for strike 3. So that's Wayman's second K of the afternoon, and Conover's second himself.
And Wayman's kind of been the game changer for the Wildcats in terms of pitching. He's done a good job up on the mound so far in his appearance.
Easton Stoker will come up. He struck out looking in his last at-bat. So 3 strikeouts total for Richfield. 2 looking, 1 swinging, and Wayman, I thought he was going to miss this one high and out of the zone, but he gets the call on the fastball for strike 1 up the chest.
And the zones remain pretty big throughout the game. Pretty consistent, though, so you got to respect that.
This one off speed and definitely inside and high for ball 1. 2 down, no one aboard for Emery. Might be the cleanest inning Richfield has had so far, and it comes in the bottom of the 3rd. Fastball is low and out of the zone. It's a 2-1 count.
Yeah, both of these teams fail to score a run this inning. That'll be the first scoreless frame of this contest.
Be the first clean frame as nobody has gotten on board for Emery. Wayman fires in the zone, a swing and a miss for Stoker, and Wayman now has the count sitting at 2-2 with 2 down.
And you know the velocity on the throw is high when it's enough to knock the pitcher's hat off in the motion.
Stoker definitely had a good cut. Just couldn't convert as the wind is coming in. Here comes the pitch on the 2-2, and this is a swing and a miss for strike 3. So Wayman has it working. He's got 3 strikeouts of his own. It's the first 1-2-3 frame of the day. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base, and the score remains 5-3. Emery as we go to the top of the 4th inning. Due up for the Wildcats, Hayden Reed, Slate Wrights, and Bridger Vincent when we return on 107.3 FM and 7:50 AM.
At Landon's Diesel, they understand the heartbeat of your diesel truck. Whether it's the rig that powers your livelihood or the everyday vehicle that drives your life, the trained technicians at Landon's Diesel are here to keep you rolling. Plus, with 24-hour towing service, support's just a call away, anytime, day or night. Drive into Landon's Diesel for expert care tailored to you and your truck, because when your diesel needs expertise, Landon's Diesel is always here.
We're not going out on a limb when we say,
I want to go to Juniper.
Juniper Kitchen. Fantastic food, fun atmosphere. Known for their made-from-scratch pizzas, Juniper has the very best pastas, burgers, salads, wraps, hoagies, paninis, appetizers, loaded sodas, desserts, vegan and vegetarian options. Dine in for lunch or dinner, Tuesday through Friday, 11 till 8. Saturdays, noon till 8. Order online at juniperkitchenutah.com with DoorDash delivery. Stop beating around the bush for a great meal.
I want to go to Juniper.
Juniper Kitchen and Price.
You're listening to Emery High School Baseball on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
Top of the 4th inning, Emery 5, Richfield 3. Leading off the inning for the Wildcats, it's Hayden Reed, the second baseman, batting out of the 7th spot. He's 1 for 1 with an RBI single going back to the 2nd inning. Both pitchers finding their rhythm. Garrett Wayman, out of a relief effort, has gone 1 2/3 frames, striking out 3, allowing just 1 hit. And on the very first pitch of this inning, it's a pop-up into shallow left center, and it's handled by Trick Jensen for out number 1. Had to work his way into the outfield. But a 1 pitch out that time for Trevin Gilbert.
And like you said, after those first 2 innings, the pitching has really shored up here for both of these squads. Wayman, of course, delivering a gem so far through his time up on the hill. And, of course, Trevin Gilbert, what can't you say about him? He's got a fantastic arm. He's maintained composure very well. He's gotten in a few jams, but he's been able to escape them.
Yeah, he did give up a couple of singles in that last inning in the 3rd frame, but it did not harm the Spartans. Now he goes to work once again, trying to lay off the inside pitch was Wrights. I'm not sure if he broke or not. Regardless, called inside for a strike, and Trev is now up in front.
And when he gets up in front, he is dangerous because he has a lot more leeway to work with some of those off-speed pitches.
He goes off-speed that go around, and Wrights watches it go through for strike 2. Count now 0-2. Back out of the lineup for Richfield has been productive. Wrights in the 2nd inning had a double. Put him in scoring position almost immediately. 0-2 pitch, no one aboard, 1 down. See if we get the off speed from Trev. Tries to work the fastball. This one goes low, misses the zone. Counts now 1-2.
You got to give a lot of credit right now, though, to Tice Larson. He's done a good job stepping in last second in that catching position, but he's absolutely killed it today.
He's done a great job. Last-minute switch for the Spartans. And the 1-2, and here's a poke into left field, and once again, Wrights is going to be aboard. He had a double the first go-around. He has a single this time. He's now 2 for 2, and that brings up Bridger Vincent, the shortstop. He had a sacrifice fly in his first at-bat back in the second inning.
And, that was a big part of that scoring barrage from the Wildcats to tie that game back up in the top of the third. Of course, Emery did respond with a 2-run outing of their own, but now trying to get the offense going again for the Wildcats after a scoreless frame.
Double play ball would get Emery out of this inning as they do have one down. Here's the first pitch, and Vincent swings. He makes contact but puts it in foul territory for strike one.
Seeing some of those foul balls, I've never been more happy to have a pane of glass in front of me. Just a little more protection than some of these fans have down there on the field.
Of course, we're well protected in this beautiful broadcast booth behind home plate. Excellent view of the entire field. 0-1 count now for Gilbert. One runner aboard at first, getting a little bit of a lead. It's Wrights, the first baseman. And Vincent is able to poke this one into the gap. That one goes to right center. It will mean extra bases. The Wildcats, with one down, have runners now at second and third. So a double for Bridger Vincent.
And he knew they had to start responding, and they have. 2 runners in scoring position. Tying run represented on second base by Bridger as they go back to the start of the lineup. And Garrett Wayman reached his first appearance on a single but struck out in his second. But a chance to do some damage here for the Wildcats.
He represents the go-ahead run here in the top of the fourth inning. Trev has given up 9 hits. Hitting the ball has not been a problem for the Wildcats. It's taken advantage of the runners on board. They've left 3 stranded, trailing by just 2, and all 3 have been in scoring position.
Yeah, it's not like you're leaving runners stranded out on first base. These are runners that could have changed the flow of this game entirely. Now looking to flip the script with Wayman on the plate.
Wayman takes ball 1. Trevin's been able to work out of a couple of jams so far in this game. He'll need to do it yet again. We have time called, and Wayman will step out. Wayman trying to get Rickenbaugh off the hook for the loss. He could be responsible for the win, filling in the second inning, getting the last 2 outs in the second frame, and then working a clean third inning. Swings and pops this one up into very shallow. That goes into right field, and that will bring a run aboard. Christiansen is able to run it down just off the dirt, but exactly what was needed by Wayman. A slight poke out past second base, and now the tying run has reached third base, and to the plate, it's Malik Fountain.
A sticky situation that Gilbert finds himself in, but one we've seen him escape before, leaving runners stranded on base for the Wildcats. But you're in the scariest part of their lineup. Up top is where you see some of the fiercest batters. You see averages of 412, 360, 406, and 244 in those first 4 slots.
Slate Wrights right now, or just crossed home plate, Bridger Vincent stands at third. 1 runner aboard 2 runners aboard, both at the corner. At first base, it's Garrett Wayman, and Fountain swings and puts one foul. Double play ball would get Emery out of the inning.
You can tell by that swing, Fountain, it doesn't intend to ground this one out. He's swinging for the fences and beyond. He wants to put this into no doubt. He wants Richfield to retake this lead and then some.
With the wind blowing, I think any shot to the outfield could bring in that tying run, standing at third. Pitch from Trev, throw down over to third, not in time, and a free stolen base by Garrett Wayman. So now 2 runners in scoring position.
And it's a good move. You want to keep that runner in check at third. You don't want to throw for second, have the runner steal home instead. So I like the move by Larson holding at third base.
It's the second stolen base for Wayman in this game. Here's a swing, and this one is put in play. It's out into left field, a collision. Emery's able to come up with the out. Richfield will score the tying run, and now we have a rundown between second and third, and the Spartans could get out of this with the game just tied in the pickle, and Wayman is out. Boy, that could have been bad out in the outfield. A collision between Garrett Conover and Peyton Nielsen. Still Conover comes up with the out, but not before the Wildcats draw even, getting that run aboard. So we will go to the bottom of the fourth inning, and we are all knotted up 5-5. Due up for the Spartans, Peyton Nilsson, Bo Stilson, and Hayden Christiansen when we return on 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
Can I afford a home?
How do I price and list my home?
Do I get pre-qualified?
Do I do an open house?
Does the realtor work for the buyer or the seller?
How do I show my home?
You have questions? Quick Realty has the answers. The only local realtor that uses a 3D camera and does complimentary virtual tours for every client. Quick Realtors are professional and experienced, and a premier agent on Zillow and specialist on Realtor.com, East Main Street Price, and at BQuickRealty.com, Facebook and Instagram. Call 613-HOME, 613-4663.
Hi, this is Tim Frame, manager at Cache Valley Bank. Are you getting ready to tackle some spring projects or already making summer plans? Now is a good time to stop in and see how Cache Valley Bank can assist you. With a great team of friendly, knowledgeable bankers, we can provide you with the financial tools needed to help you succeed. Whether it's fixing up your home, building a new home, or other projects on your to-do list, we are dedicated to providing you with the personalized attention you deserve. Come in and see us at 82 West Main Street in Price.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Emery High School baseball continues on the home of the Spartans.
News Talk 107.3 FM and 750 AM KOAL.
Last frame was a productive one for the Richfield Wildcats. They draw even by scoring 2 off 3 hits, leaving 1 runner aboard. And now we go to the bottom of the fourth inning, all tied 5-5. Due up for Emery, Peyton Nilsson, Bo Stilson, and Hayden Christiansen. On the mound, it's Garrett Wayman. He just worked the first clean 1-2-3 inning of the ball game, and we'll see if he can carry over that momentum. Peyton Nilsson will step to the plate. Peyton launched one that nearly carried out in left center field. It ended up bouncing off the warning track and hitting the fence.
And Wayman's going to be want to go in 1-2-3 because it feels like whenever Richfield gets something going offensively, the Spartans answer in kind. That's been the story of this game so far. When one offense gets going, the other does. So if Wayman's able to flip that script, he puts the Wildcats in a pretty good position going forward.
Only the second at bat of the game for Nilsson. Again, he had that double, that stand-up double back in the second inning. He did end up scoring. So Peyton batting out of the 9th spot, 1 for 1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. And again, Garrett Wayman, the pitcher for the Wildcats. And Peyton watches, wisely lays off the outside pitch for ball 1.
And Wayman does a good job in kind of lulling you into one of those false senses of security, but then he'll throw the heater, he'll throw the off-speed, he'll catch you off guard any way he can. And it's worked for him so far through his limited time up on the hill.
Nilsson in the box. Here comes the pitch. Watches a strike go by.
And that's like I was saying. He lulled him into a false sense of security there for a second, catches him with the off-speed.
Counts now 1-2. So Nilsson will have to protect. And this one was high at the eyes for ball 2.
Good plate vision by Nelson on that pitch. Staying calm, not trying to rush anything, not trying to force anything.
2-2 count. Now Wayman misses out of the zone. We have a full count, 3-2. Walks have been hard to come by for both teams. In fact, Wayman is yet to walk a batter. Same could be said for Trevin Gilbert.
Yeah, it's been a rarity this game to see errors like that from pitchers.
3-2 on the way, and Peyton will draw a walk, and the go-ahead run reaches off of a full count. Beautiful at bat by Peyton Nilsson. Can't ask for much more out of your 9-spot hitter. He's 1 for 1 with a double and a walk.
Yeah, quite a showing today from Nelson out of the 9 spot. Like you said, a double, a walk. He's had himself a great showing out there offensively.
Bo Stilson has also had a great showing. He's 2 for 2. He's got a triple and a single, a stolen base, a run, and an RBI. How about that stat line? He'll look to add to it with a go-ahead run at first base. No outs. Wayman, the pitcher for the Wildcats, and Stilson, the right fielder, who has been red hot at the plate. Watches strike 1 go by.
Looks like he was kind of expecting that one to drop a little bit. He was expecting more of a break, but instead he sees the fastball right down the pipeline go by.
Bottom of the 4th. Nice lead for Nilsson over at first. Wayman takes a long look, goes to the delivery, and misses off of the outside. And the catcher, Fisher Jensen, flirts with throwing down over to first. Nilsson gets back, counts 1-1.
Smart move by Nelson. He's getting a lead, but he's not getting too great of a lead that he can't recover if the catcher does try to make a play. Jensen has also done a good job behind the plate, tracking the ball, staying in front of it, and he's had a few pickoffs.
Yeah, both catchers have been clean. And a well-played game of the field. There's a ball in the dirt that time. Fisher Jensen does make the throw down to first. A head-first slide back into first safely for Peyton Nielsen, and the count is now 2-1 for Bo Steelson.
That felt more like a warning shot from Jensen. He's not going to allow any chicanery out there at first base.
Want to make sure they keep Peyton away from second. Emery trying to get that runner in scoring position to recapture a lead. This time, Bo couldn't lay off. Watch his strike go by, and the count sitting at 2-2.
And when you swing powerfully, that's the biggest problem you run into, is it's going to be hard to stop that as soon as you'd want it to. An object in motion is going to stay in motion. That's the same case for the bat of Stilson.
Lead off over at first for Nielsen. Wayman works it in the zone. Bo gets a piece of it, sends it into right field, and it just goes foul.
That's flirting with the line right there. One of those unfortunate ones where it could have gone either way, but having that vantage point along the first base line really is going to be a better line of sight than we have up here.
I lost track of it off of the bat, but just seeing the way Curtis, the right fielder, was moving for Richfield, you could tell it was drifting foul. Curtis started his day over at third base, has moved into right field now for the Wildcats, and with a 2-2 count, Bo will step back in. One runner aboard, it's Peyton Nielsen over at first. Bo again has been deadly at the plate, a single and a triple to his name, 2 for 2 with a stolen base, a run, and an RBI.
That's just a stuffed stat sheet right there. But with the last name Stilson, that's what you expect from Emery.
No question, 2-2. And he lays off on the outside, and it's the second consecutive batter to reach a full count on Wayman, whose pitch count is starting to climb.
And Wayman, he's done a good job in those first 2 pitches. He builds himself a good lead, but he can't get out of his own way throwing balls, not allowing easy foul-off opportunities, and he allows these full counts to battle back.
Quality at bat for Emery. Sometimes that's just as efficient as a hit, depending on the situation. And Bo's able to lay off, and Wayman puts it in the dirt for ball 4. So consecutive walks, free bases can absolutely kill you in a game like this. And Emery will try to take advantage as Hayden Christiansen, who also drew a walk earlier in this game, will step to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a walk on the afternoon.
And right now, Wayman has to have a lot on his mind right now. Not only do you have 2 runners, one in scoring position, representing the go-ahead run on second base in Nelson, but you've walked 2 consecutive batters. That weighs on a pitcher's mind. It gets into your psyche, and it's hard to come back from that.
We got a mound visit right now. We'll see if the Wildcats are going to make a change or if they're going to stick with it. Hard to line up for Emery. Hayden Christiansen, Hayden Abrams, and Tice Larson all due up, unless, of course, we were to get a double play ball. Hayden again looking for his first hit of the afternoon. He's been great all season for Emery, hitting .286. He's got 7 RBIs and 13 runs. He's got a couple of extra base hits as well. He can add to that total and give Emery the lead with a base hit in this situation, and the game tied 5-5.
Yeah, he's an ideal candidate right now at the plate. Runners first, second. He can do a lot of damage with a power hitter like Hayden Abrams stepping into the batter's box.
So it looks like we will have no pitching change here for the Wildcats.
And it's probably a wise move. You don't want to throw a new pitcher into the Sharks. We've seen Wayman. He's able to recover from these situations. He just needs to show that he can do it one more time.
He's had great control up into this inning. Still looking for his first out, so he's only gone 1 2/3 of a frame in a relief effort. Runner at first and second. Christiansen shows bunt, pulls it back for ball 1. He attempted a bunt back in the first inning and popped it up to the pitcher Rickenbaugh for an out. But with Hayden's speed, never a bad idea to just lay one down and try to advance the runner from second over to third. And most certainly the runner from first over to second to put 2 in scoring position. No one out.
Yeah, with no outs, it's a why not move.
1-0 count, showing bunt yet again. He pulls it back. It's ball 2. Wayman is missing the zone right now wildly. And I have to believe it would be difficult at this point in time for Christiansen to show bunt, considering that the last four pitches from Wayman have been well out of the zone.
Yeah, he's been on quite the streak of a lack of control. You got to feel pretty confident, though, as a batter in this situation.
2-0 count. Wayman with a pickoff throw over to second. Not even close to being on time as Nielsen slides head first back safely. Nielsen at second, Bo Stilson at first.
Nielsen builds up a moderate lead, but just enough where it's really never in doubt if they try and pick him off, he's going to make it back safely.
Peyton's got some speed. He can turn on the Jets. 2-0. Hayden does show bunt, lays it down to the pitcher. Throw over to third. Is it in time? I believe it is. Yes. For I'm not going to call it an easy out, but the lead runner out on the force over at third. Peyton tried to slide in, but could not beat the throw. Emery will keep runners at first and second. One down, and now stepping to the plate, it's Hayden Abrams.
Now with that bunt, Wayman's bought himself some leeway. Now it's not a bases-loaded situation. He has a little more leeway to work with, but still not an ideal situation with the go-ahead run at second base.
Bunting into a fielder's choice on a 2-0 count. Not ideal for Emery. One runner in scoring position still. Double play ball would get Wayman out of this inning, and he misses high and out of the zone for Hayden Abrams. I don't anticipate Hayden seeing a fastball right down Broadway. With the wind, we know he can hit a ton already, leading Emery in home runs so far this season with 2. He's got 11 extra base hits on the campaign as well. Here's an inside pitch, and Wayman catches Hayden on the shoulder. So now bases are juiced with one out as he gives Hayden a free base.
And with how things are going, you might, if you're Richfield's manager, you might be pondering a pitching change right now, just based on the loss of control we've seen from Wayman in this inning.
That brings Tice Larson to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. He got plate appearances in back-to-back frames in the first and second, but then Wayman had that 1-2-3 inning in the third, and that prevented another look for Larson. Here, however, he can do some damage. Cleanup man steps to the plate with bases juiced and one out in a 5-5 ball game. Hitter's dream. Wayman trying to get out of the inning. He goes off speed, and it's right down the middle for strike one. Not a lot of movement, but there's no doubt that Tice was willing to take the first pitch. Why not?
469 hitter on the season through 55 plate appearances.
0-1 swing, and Larson misses everything for strike two.
He's trying to do some damage right now, but you got to remember those fundamentals as you step into the batter's box. Now that you're down 0-2, you need to keep or have a little more restraint on what you're swinging at.
Fly ball should break the tie, and there is the fly ball. However, this is hit shallow, and it's in foul territory. It drops harmlessly to the grass for a very long strike two. We'll do it all over again.
And just the wind, again, taking control of that ball, making it unpredictable out there along the third base line as they're trying to track it. Drops harmlessly to the ground, still 0-2. Larson stays alive.
Hung up there for a while. It was high, but again, that wind able to carry it. And Larson is fortunate to have another at-bat. Another opportunity on the 0-2. Pitch comes, Larson swings and misses, and a monumental strikeout from Garrett Wayman. And now, 2 down, bases juiced. Emery will bring Trig Jensen to the plate. That is a huge strikeout for Garrett Wayman.
That was a big-time play, and being able to stay composed in that situation, knowing the bases are juiced, still battling one of the toughest hitters in the Emery lineup. And being able to escape with the strikeout for a 2-out situation, you could still escape this inning.
Stepping up, Trig Jensen, big moment. Bases loaded, 2 outs, swings at one of the dirt, and a fake throw down to third.
And Emery has kind of lost control, or I guess a better word would be restraint at what they're swinging at. They're taking a shot at it, just about anything.
Count is 1-1. Big at bat here for Trig, who is 1 for 2. He's got an RBI single and a ground out. Now he's got a second strike on him as he gets underneath the fastball, puts it in foul territory behind home plate. Count 1-2.
And Wayman ahead now. He can get a little more creative, throw some of those off speeds, try and catch Jensen off guard, but I'd go back to Old Faithful in the fastball.
1-2, swing, a miss, and Wayman gets out of the jam. Trig Jensen goes down swinging, and Emery will strand 3. Had a golden opportunity to break this tie, but a fielder's choice and 2 strikeouts gets Wayman through the 4th inning. We go to the top of the 5th. Due up for the Wildcats. Just Curtis, Fisher Jensen, and Kelby Rickenbaugh. We're all knotted 5-5 as we head to the 5th on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
Hey, it's Bill Hicks, owner of Farlenos. I've got some exciting news. Spring hours are here. Monday through Thursday, we'll be here from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And on Fridays and Saturdays, we're open until 9 p.m. And for those lazy Sundays, we'll be serving up your favorites from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Whether you're grabbing a quick bite or enjoying a relaxing meal, Farlenos is a place where the locals eat. And we can't wait to see you more often. Come on down and let us treat you to something special.
Step up to the plate with Eastern Utah Community Credit Union. Just like baseball, managing finances is all about making smart plays. Whether you're aiming for a home run with a new home loan or stealing second with unbeatable auto loan rates, our team is here to coach you through every financial inning. Slide into our branch today and let's hit a financial grand slam together. Eastern Utah Community Credit Union, where everyone gets VIP treatment.
Membership and eligibility required. NCUA insured. Loans approved on credit. Equal housing lender.
Emery High School baseball continues on the home of the Spartans.
News Talk 107.3 FM and 750 AM KOAL.
We go now to the top of the 5th inning in what has been a highly entertaining game. Emery and Richfield all knotted up 5-5. The Spartans leave bases juiced in the bottom of the 4th. And in a game like this, we'll see if it comes back to haunt them. But a huge moment for Garrett Wayman, who found a way to get out of the jam with back-to-back strikeouts. He walked 2 runners on, hit another to load the bases, and he gets out of the jam. Trevin Gilbert remains on the mound for Emery, and Trev wants to work inside. He gets strike 1 called against Jess Curtis, who steps up 1 for 2, had a single in his last at-bat back in the 3rd inning. He did fly out to right field back in the 1st.
Yeah, he is having himself a day at the plate. He's trying to get into more of a rhythm now at this at-bat.
Curtis has played multiple positions for the Wildcats so far in this game, and he watches ball 1 low and in the dirt.
And Richfield is a team with those Swiss Army knife type players. I mean, everyone's willing to play every position. And that's just something that carries across Richfield's athletic department. It's a team-first mentality.
Trevin goes high. This one just out of the zone, and excellent job for Curtis to lay off for a ball. Emery wanted to defer to make sure he didn't break. He did not. So far, Trevin's gone 4 innings. He's allowed 10 hits and 4 earned runs, 1 unearned off of an error going back to the 1st inning. 2nd inning, excuse me. Here's a shot. This one will go into left field, and it is all the way back at the wall, just inside the foul pole, and Richfield will start the inning with a leadoff double. What a piece of hitting by Jess Curtis. I thought maybe the wind would take it foul, and Aiden, that bounced at the warning track well inside of the foul pole, about 310 feet down.
Yeah, the wind added a certain layer of unpredictability to every hit along the foul line. Bounces off the fence, though. You could tell that was going to be fair by a mile. But what a opening hit by Curtis.
That brings Fisher Jensen to the plate. The catcher's 1 for 2 so far today. He had a pop out to left field earlier in the game. He did single back in the 3rd. And Richfield has a runner in scoring position, an opportunity to recapture the lead. It would be their first lead since the 1st inning when they jumped up 1-0. Swings at the first pitch, and this one is going to carry back to center field. Conover is there for the putout. He's going to make the throw into the relay man, not in time, and that will advance the runner. So getting from 2nd over to 3rd is Curtis, and now Richfield in prime position to take the lead off of Fisher Jensen's pop out to deep center.
Knocking on heaven's door there for Curtis, 3rd base, bringing up to the plate Rickenbach, and he's again trying to get himself the win on the mound through the batter's box.
Kelby Rickenbaugh can get himself off the hook for the loss with a base hit here, and the first pitch for Trev is in the dirt.
Yeah, it's always fun to see these pitchers not just playing for their pitching stats or their batting stats, but a bit of both. It's always fun to see them step into the box.
One of the things I miss most about Major League Baseball, the universal DH gets rid of that. But again, Rickenbaugh was on the hook after a slow start on the mound, and he fouls this one off, and the count's now 1-1. But a base hit here, and that would shift the loss off of his back to whoever is on the mound if Emery was to come out of this one in the final 9 outs.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the universal DH. It takes out that fun aspect of watching the pitcher struggle to hit.
One runner aboard at third, one down, 1-1 count. Gilbert goes off speed. This one is sent into shallow center. That will drop for a base hit, and the Wildcats have recaptured the lead. Kelby Rickenbaugh on a single to center field. He's now 2 for 3 on the afternoon. He's got an RBI, and Jess Curtis will make his way across home plate to give the Wildcats a 6-5 advantage.
And he's doing it in style, retaking the lead, like you said, the first time they've held that lead since the top of the first inning, and a mound visit called for the Spartans.
I think we will see a pitching change. I would be surprised if that's not the case. It's a great outing for Trev. He has gone 4 complete frames. I'll make it 4 1/3 if they stick with him to see if he can finish this one out. Again, manager Chase Julian told me he'd go as deep as he possibly could, but I do believe we'll see a pitching change here. 6-5, Richfield with the lead, top of the 5th inning in a crucial region game between number 7 Emery and number 10 Richfield, the first of 2 meetings between the 2 teams this week.
And Richfield, they had a bit of a slow start to this season, struggled early in non-region play, but when region play has rolled around, they've really started putting things together. Right now sitting 4-6 within Region 12, looking to try and break 500 by the end of the week if they're able to win this contest.
We're not going to see a pitching change. So we'll see if Trev can get out of this. A double play ball would end the inning, and it is in play with a runner aboard at first. Richfield trying to extend that advantage. Again, their first lead since the first inning.
And with Trigg in shortstop, you feel pretty confident about the ability to turn that double play if anything fast comes rolling his direction.
6-4-3 would be in play here, you would think, for Griffin Wayman. Wayman reached with an error, and he also has a strikeout, so he's 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Tice makes the throw down to first, and he airmails it, puts it in the dirt, rather, and this one bounces all the way into right field. And that will give a free base for the Wildcats off an error for the Spartans, and that gets rid of the double play ball.
Well, that was one of the worst things that could have happened to the Spartans there. It's been a story of the season. I mean, you're looking at a team embracing that youth movement right now. You lose a lot of seniors from last year's squad. You're a young team, and mistakes like that are going to happen, as painful as they may be.
Runner now in scoring position. Wayman has the green light, swings, and pops this one up into center. Looks as if Conover tracks it well. He does for the putout, makes a beautiful throw, overshoots Stoker at third. And so now Rickenbaugh slides safely headfirst into third, and with 2 down, the Wildcats are looking for anything to make this a 2-run game, and stepping back up is Hayden Reed.
And with how quickly Emery's offense can come alive, it's good to buy yourself as many insurance runs as possible as this game starts reaching its latter half. You're going to want to do everything possible if you're the Spartans to hold this run. You don't want anything else scoring. You have a manageable game still, but with how Wayman has managed the last 2 innings, it could be a sticky situation for the Spartans.
We'll see if the errant throw down to first plays a factor. If you don't make that throw and you got a runner aboard at second, I don't believe the runner would have advanced from first to second off the fly ball. Conover has a cannon on him, and he tossed that all the way over into third. We do have a pitching change coming for the Spartans. 1 runner aboard at third. The score right now 6-5. Wildcats with a 1-run advantage. We'll see if Emery can get out of this inning and limit the damage when we return on 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
Hey, it's Bill Hicks, owner of Farlano's. I've got some exciting news. Spring hours are here. Monday through Thursday, we'll be here from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And on Fridays and Saturdays, we're open until 9 p.m. And for those lazy Sundays, we'll be serving up your favorites from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Whether you're grabbing a quick bite or enjoying a relaxing meal, Farlano's is a place where the locals eat. And we can't wait to see you more often. Come on down and let us treat you to something special.
Step up to the plate with Eastern Utah Community Credit Union. Just like baseball, managing finances is all about making smart plays. Whether you're aiming for a home run with a new home loan or stealing second with unbeatable auto loan rates, our team is here to coach you through every financial inning. Slide into our branch today and let's hit a financial grand slam together. Eastern Utah Community Credit Union, where everyone gets VIP treatment.
Membership and eligibility required. NCUA insured. Loans approved on credit. Equal housing lender.
At A Perfect Smile, they specialize in transforming your smile with precision and care. From porcelain veneers and dental implants to orthodontics, crowns, and bridges, their expertise covers every aspect of general and cosmetic dentistry. Dr. Jackson and his team are here to address even the most challenging dental concerns, helping you achieve a smile you'll love. Ready for a smile makeover? Call A Perfect Smile today, 637-2100, to schedule an appointment.
You're listening to Emery High School Baseball on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
Garrett Conover comes in relief for Emery, trying to get the final out of the top half of the fifth inning. Trevin Gilbert will move to first, and Hayden Abrams will split out to center field for Emery. Stepping up is Hayden Reed, the second baseman. He's 1 for 2. One runner aboard for the Wildcats. That's Rickenbaugh third, and that run could be charged to Trevin Gilbert, who leaves the game with Emery down 1. Conover stepping up against Reed. First pitch. Throws with some velocity and just misses the zone for ball 1.
And like you mentioned, when he was out in center field, he has a cannon for an arm through 7 appearances, a 4.55 ERA. But on top of that, he's got 25 strikeouts to his name. So he is a real threat. When he's on, he is on. It's hard to hit that velocity.
Saw Garrett a couple of key spots already for Emery, not only this season but last as well. This time he finds the zone for a strike to make it 1-1.
And a good job recovering it. Sometimes it just takes a pitch to get used to the rhythm of the game.
You and I were in the broadcast booth last year when he was a freshman and made an appearance at the state tournament game. Now he finds the zone again on the off-speed for a 1-2 count. One strike away from eliminating the threat over at third. A 1-2 count, 2 outs. Emery's trailing 6-5 in the top half of the fifth inning.
He's a player who you look next to his name, you see that sophomore tag?
Yeah.
You got to be happy.
Conover on the 1-2, and he just misses the zone. Count will draw even.
And you could hear the snap of the catcher's glove from all the way up here. The velocity is unreal from Conover, just barely missing the top of the zone on that one.
2-2 count. 2 free bases for Emery as we get to the bottom half of the order for Richfield, but they've been productive out of that 7-8-9 spot. Now the count is full as Reed lays off. You take a look at the hits from this back half of the lineup. Well, Reed is 1 for 2 already in this game. Slate Wrights is 2 for 2, and Bridger Vincent is 1 for 2.
Yeah, it's impressive the amount of mileage they're getting from the bottom half of the lineup.
Full count. Just a piece. Reed's going to stay alive. We'll do 3-2 again.
And right now you're not trying to go for any off-speed pitches. You want to go to Old Faithful. You're going with that fastball.
3-2, 2 outs, 6-5, Richfield by 1. They can extend the lead with a runner at third. Big pitch coming up for Conover in his first batter of the game. And this one is right in the zone, rings him up looking. Conover steps in. The sophomore limits the damage. The Wildcats do get a run, but they leave one stranded. So 1 run off 2 hits, 1 error. But the big damage was done on the scoreboard. Wildcats take the lead 6-5. Due up for Emery when we return. Trevin Gilbert, Garrett Conover, and Easton Stoker. Richfield 6, Emery 5 when we return on 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, then buy from your friends so you can depend on. Hi, this is Oscar Martinez, sales manager at Blue Diamond GM. I was raised here and this is my home. Blue Diamond GM is your hometown dealership with parts, sales, and service. We can take care of your vehicle no matter what part of the journey you're on. Come in today and check out our new and used vehicles. We pride ourselves in taking care of you because you are friends and family for a lifetime.
This is Dave.
And Ryan.
From Dave and Ryan's Movie Review.
Experience movies the way God intended them to be seen. On the big screen.
At the King Cole Theaters.
And action. Whether it's stunning action,
heart-stopping horror,
tender romance,
gut-busting comedy,
or wholesome family flicks,
movies are always better
on the big screen. Connect on Facebook for instant access to showtimes and the latest blockbusters.
With showing 7 nights a week and matinees on weekends, you can immerse yourself in the magic of movies at the King Cole Theaters.
Emery High School baseball continues on the home of the Spartans.
News Talk 107.3 FM and 750 AM KOAL.
Bottom of the fifth, due up for Emery, Trevin Gilbert, Garrett Conover, and Easton Stoker. Emery right now trailing Richfield 6-5. The story is written for Trev on the mound. Tonight he goes 4 innings, 4 2/3. He does give up 12 hits, 5 earned runs, 6 runs total, and 2 strikeouts. So Trev can help his own cause. Try to get him off the hook for that loss right here as he watches ball 1 and ball 2 in the dirt.
And Wayman, he's had similar starts to these innings. He struggles a bit initially trying to reacclimate to the mound, but as he gets going, as he gets further and further into the inning, he gets more and more spot on. We've seen him escape some pretty impressive jams. I mean, bases loaded last inning, doesn't allow a single run.
No, he's been very, very good. And Trev is going to lay off. He just broke a moment ago for strike 1, lays off on the high fastball for ball 3. Counts now 3-1. Now, Wayman's gotten in a little bit of trouble, but he's always found a way to get out of it. So far, he's gone 2 2/3. And this time he finds the zone. Trev thought he missed on the inside, was going to take his jog to first, but he's got to come back, and the count's now full 3-2. Wayman's flirted with a couple of disastrous counts. I believe it's his 4th full count that he has faced since taking over for Rickenbaugh.
Yeah, he is definitely he's had a fair amount of full counts in this contest.
Took 1 extra pitch. That one was way out of the zone, low. And Emery's got the tying run aboard as Trevin Gilbert will take the walk and the free base.
If you could find any flaw in Wayman's mound appearance this game, it has been walking runners, several of them throughout the course of this game.
Yeah, he's got 3 walks, and he's also hit 1 batter. So he has allowed some free bases. Garrett Conover will now step up. Garrett 0 for 2. He struck out on both appearances. Once looking, once swinging. And this one is low for ball 1. Now I think if you're Emery, you can really implement some patience at the plate as Wayman is having a difficult time locating the zone.
And that's where they were able to build their advantage early on in this contest, staying patient in the batter's box. Now, when the bases were loaded, they lost that patience, and that's part of the reason why they left 3 stranded last inning.
Garrett saw a pitch he liked. He swings, he misses, and the count is now 1-1. Get the opportunity to get to that hitter's count, which is 3-1. 6-5 score, Richfield by 1. Go-ahead run at the plate for Emery. 1-1 pitch from Wayman. This one is low and inside, and the count's now 2-1. Like I said, having a difficult time locating those pitches.
Yeah, if you're an Emery batter, you just got to stay patient. Conover doing a pretty good job of that so far during this plate appearance.
I think the Fisher Jensen's done a great job of painting behind the plate, but Wayman has made it difficult. On display there with another pitch high and out of the zone up at the eyes, and the count's now 3-1. It is a hitter's count here for Garrett Conover, and I would assume he would get the green light. We have a mound visit, and that may be all she wrote for Wayman.
Yeah, no, just a little too inconsistent as he's gone on throughout this game. You can tell the arm's definitely starting to wear down. Several balls. And I mean, like you said, Jensen has done a good job so far this contest framing those pitches, but there's only so much you can do when the pitch is about a foot above the zone.
It would be odd to see a pitching change on a 3-1 count.
Yeah, no, you're throwing out a sacrificial lamb at that point.
I mean, a 3-1 count, pitcher change, you don't see that too often. Remember, the double play ball is in effect with 1 runner aboard, no outs, and Wayman will stay in the game. That makes a tad bit more sense. Well, the mound visit came with a little bit of ferocity. There was a lot of movement going on, right? I thought that maybe they were going to pull him, and it just would have definitely been Something rare to see on that 3-1.
You know, there's no baseball memory that haunts me more than being called in for a mound visit or any kind of infield meeting. Absolutely terrifying in there. Tense environments.
3-1 pitch coming from Wayman. Conover swings, and he puts it in foul territory. Counts now full, so the second consecutive batter to reach a full count. Typically that 3-1, you see the pitch you want. I think one of the things that gets lost on spectators is that you maybe have 2 pitches per at-bat that you can hit. You're going to get one on a 3-1. Here comes the full count pitch, and Conover will protect. He sends it foul.
And that's when the pitcher is going to throw out their surefire thing, the one pitch they know is going to find the zone, because you don't want to get or draw another walk, but fouling it off, you've brought yourself in a bit of a stickier situation with the full count now. Typically these have gone in Emery's favor with Wayman on the mound.
3-2, no outs. Wayman with the pitch, and this one is low. Conover watches ball 4 go by. And so similar to what we had last inning, Emery is putting runners aboard without making contact. Wayman is finding himself in trouble yet again, his 4th walk. And now Gilbert at second, Conover at first.
Easton Stoker stepping to the plate now. 2 strikeouts in the contest so far for him as well. The 7 and 8 just hasn't been it for Emery today, but Conover breaking that streak by drawing the walk.
Runners at first and second, and now Wayman will get ahead of the count as he works the outside corner for strike 1. We go back to that last inning. It was a walk, a bunt that resulted in a fielder's choice, hit by a pitch, strikeout. That's the way the inning went.
You know, sometimes it just takes some time for that pitcher to find what's going to work for him, especially as the arm starts to get a little weary.
He's ahead in this count now, 0-2, as Stoker watches a clean pitch go by.
And again, you got to give credit to Jensen there. He's painting that right corner of the batter's box just beautifully right now.
Well, and it's really a lot of framing going on right now for Fisher Jensen, doing a terrific job. And here's a high pitch. This one goes over the top of Jensen's head, and that will take the double play ball out of play as 2 runners advance on the wild pitch.
And again, it's hard to frame that pitch when it's a few feet over your head, let alone clearing your head, as runners advance for the Spartans. Now 2 in scoring position. Tying run on third. Go-ahead run on second. The Spartans are clicking yet again, but they were clicking last inning as well and ended up scoreless.
Stoker gets a piece of the 1-2, sends it foul, so we'll start over. Fly ball to the outfield could bring us to a tie game.
And Emery finding a good time to try and come alive offensively as we're starting to run out of time in the game.
1-2. There's a very shallow fly ball. We'll see if the wind makes this difficult to track. It does not. Emery's going to try to test and bring the tying run on. I'm not sure why. There is an out at the plate as Trevin Gilbert tried to test the arm. It was a very shallow fly ball just out of the infield, and the Wildcats have out number 2.
Yeah, it just looks kind of
out number 1. Is that ball dropped? So that ball did drop in the infield, and so now we only have 1 down, but runners at first and second.
Well, it just felt like a bit of a lapse of judgment there.
I couldn't tell if Hayden Reed came down with that ball. The wind made it very difficult to track, and he just swiped at it and dropped it on the way down. So instead of bases loaded, we have runners at first and second. A double play ball gets Richfield out of the inning.
This is what we saw last inning. It's a near identical situation. Bases were going to be loaded, but on a move by Emery backfires, resulting in an out. Runners on first and second.
Well, that's an error that would be assessed to Richfield. I'm trying to set how that ball got very, very, very shallow, just barely into the grass going into center field.
You know, like you said, the wind's blowing out there, the sun's shining in your eyes as you're trying to track it.
It makes more sense as to why manager Chase Julian would send Gilbert home. I think he was trying to catch Richfield snoozing, and Gilbert was just about a step away, sliding in head first, but it was an easy throw to make from around second base home.
Yeah, if that was just a little bit deeper, you might have had more of a chance, but with it being that shallow.
Tried to play aggressive on the base pads, and a swing and a miss for Nielsen.
Nilsson been having himself a really good day. He's got the big double in the second inning, and he reached base on balls in his last plate appearance. Made it all the way to second base before being caught at third on a fielder's choice.
Well, he's been fantastic. You couldn't ask for anything more out of your 9-hole hitter. Right now he finds himself down 0-1, but a runner in scoring position, and that runner represents the tying run.
And when you come into this game not expecting to be in the batter's box and having the performance he has, you got to give a lot of credit to him.
0-1, Nilsson, the righty, steps back into the plate. Here comes the pitch, and he watches an outside go for ball one.
And one thing that's been consistent throughout this entire game is the patience of Emery in the batter's box.
Specifically later on in the game, they've shown great patience.
They have. They're not swinging at anything wild. They're remaining calm, waiting for the pitch that they feel is going to give them the best chance.
Big lead over at second, inside. Boy, that barely missed Nilsson. Inside for ball two.
Had to look like he was in the Matrix for a second there, dodging narrowly.
And that was right at the wrist for a ball. Very big pitch coming up on the 2-2 count. 2 runners aboard, 1 down. Emery trailing by 1 at the bottom of the 5th inning. Pitch on the way, and Nilsson swings and misses for strike 3. May have made contact, but if he did, Fisher-Jensen was able to field the ball cleanly off the tip. And so now with 2 down, Emery possibly leaving more runners in scoring position unless Bo Stilson can do some work.
And I think that's who you're going to want to see in this situation when you've had a lack of success so far in finding runs, especially in these later innings. You got Bo Stilson stepping up 2 bases on balls, but he had that big leadoff triple in to open this game.
Pickoff throw over to second. Not in time, as Conover did have a little bit of a decent lead. Wayman is finding his rhythm once again. He seems to be finding it late in frames. He's got 5 strikeouts on the afternoon. He has given Emery 4 free bases on balls, but he's also thrown a wild pitch. So technically, he's given Emery 6 free bases in this game. Check swing, Stilson, ground ball over to second, picked up, and that will do it. Emery will strand a couple of more runners. So they threaten yet again. Unfortunately, they can't bring that tying run across home plate. We will go to the top of the 6th inning and do up for the Wildcats. It's the bottom half of the lineup. Slate Wright, Bridger, Vincent, and then we flip to the leadoff man, Garrett Wayman, when we return. Wildcats lead the Spartans in this one right now. The score 6-5.
Is it time to trade in the old and get something new? If you've been driving by the dealerships, scoping out the selection, and you're not seeing what you want, Auto Farm Price Ford is here to help. Hi, I'm Justin Kennedy, sales manager here at Auto Farm Price Ford. Stop by today and let us pre-order your dream vehicle. You can choose every bell and whistle straight from the factory. Best of all, when your vehicle's done, it will be delivered right to the dealership, so stop by to Auto Farm Price Ford, 811 Westwood Boulevard. Let us order your dream vehicle today.
Here with Dr. Callie at Castle Valley Orthodontics to talk about common questions regarding braces. Dr. Callie, am I too old for braces?
No, never. We have quite a few adult patients that come into our office to seek orthodontic treatment, whether for the first time or to fix things that might have gotten back to being crooked from not wearing retainers. So age is not a problem. As long as the teeth and gums are healthy, we can do braces. Give us a call today. Castle Valley Orthodontics, 637-2222, and we will schedule you for a free consultation.
You're listening to Emery High School Baseball on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
Missed opportunities, the story of the afternoon for Emery as they trail Richfield 6-5 going into the top of the 6th inning. Plenty of time left in what has been a wild game. Garrett Conover on the mound for Emery. He's gone 1/3, but came up with a strikeout and the only batter that he faced in that last inning, and it was a very, very crucial at bat. And we talk about Emery leaving 8 runners aboard. Richfield hasn't been clean in that realm either. They've left 5 stranded, and they left 1 on third base in the last inning.
Yeah, it's been a battle of who is going to be able to break that trend first. Right now, Richfield has been doing a better job late in this game in bringing runners home.
Leading things off again for the Wildcats, Slate Wrights. He swings and whiffs on the very first pitch. Conover does have the strikeout material. There's no question about that. You mentioned it, just a sophomore. Manager Chase Julian has had to put him in very difficult situations as a freshman last year, and now we're seeing him just continue to get better and better as a sophomore.
And when you have a freshman you're willing to throw into a state quarterfinal game and into a state semifinal game, you got a lot of trust in him, and he delivers pretty consistently. He's got a lot of velocity on that throw, an absolute cannon of an arm, and someone who fans and managers are going to love to see develop as he continues his time here at Emery.
He's got his second strikeout of the afternoon, 2 batters, 2 strikeouts, and that gives him 27 on the year as he sits right down swinging for out number 1 at the top of the 6th.
Yeah, and when you need a strikeout, you call Conover to the mound because he delivers in spades.
Bottom of the order for Richfield has been really good in this game, and now Bridger Vincent will step up. Vincent pops this one up in foul territory. Is it in play? No, just barely going over that netting and bouncing in between about 5 of the Richfield faithful. Not sure how that didn't hit someone.
Yeah, no, sounded like a mortar landing as it hit the metal bleachers. That would have been just painful to be hit by, so luckily no one was hit by it.
Sky high just over the net for strike 1. Conover has faced 2 batters. He's got 2 strikeouts on the afternoon in relief. Trying to keep Emery afloat. On deck, it's Garrett Wayman, and Wayman has been spectacular in this game.
That he has. Defensively, offensively, on the mound. He has done it all for the Wildcats.
He's 2 for 3 on the afternoon. Does have 1 strikeout looking. But before we get to Wayman, got to take care of Bridger Vincent. And for the second consecutive at-bat, Conover leads the count 0-2. 1 down, 0-2 pitch on the way, and this one is high, went off speed. And it's up at the eyes for ball 1.
You know, that's what's scary is even his off speed looks like it could take someone's head off. It just goes soaring through the air. The velocity of Conover is truly unmatched.
Yeah, he's been great in a relief effort. Here comes the 1-2. Check swing. Did he break? Yes, he did. Strikeout number 2 of the inning for Garrett Conover. Bridger Vincent not happy with the ruling. Had to defer down to the first base ump. He says he broke 3 batters, 3 strikeouts for Conover.
That's quite the stat line, especially coming in a relief effort. 3 batters, 3 strikeouts, an incredible showing so far, but now he's facing his toughest task of the afternoon, and Garrett Wayman, who 2 for 3 on the afternoon, will open the game with a single, had another along with a stolen base and an RBI in his last appearance. 1 strikeout, though, he did have in the second inning.
It's the 3rd consecutive batter that Conover has jumped ahead in the count, 0-1 with a first pitch strike. He's definitely got the right stuff here in the top of the 6th inning. This time he wants to go fastball low out of the zone. Wanted to test Wayman, who does not get over anxious. He holds for ball 1.
Yeah, he's doing a good job staying patient. That's been kind of the downfall of Richfield this at-bat. They're being a little too patient. They're expecting these balls to go beneath the zone, out of the zone, but a good job by Tice Larson. He frames them. Conover delivers a very consistent ball as well.
He fires in for strike 2. He tried to jam up Wayman, going inside as he crowds the plate, did not swing, did jam him up for a strike, and now he goes high out of the zone for ball 2. Count is 2-2.
And you're still moving with a lot of velocity. You can sit down another batter. You feel pretty confident, defensively at least, heading into the next inning. But you got to hold Richfield scoreless here and do yourself some favors on offense. You can't leave any more runners on base if you're the Spartans.
2-2, 2 outs, foul ball. This one hit into the softball field behind us, and so that'll leave Wayman with a 2-2 count.
Wayman does a good job battling. He's doing more battling than any other batter that has faced Conover so far this game.
Yeah, he's working deep into the count now, 2-2 off a couple of foul balls. Strike 3 looking. Garrett Conover sits him down, and there is a very upset Garrett Wayman, who had some words for the umpire as he walked back to the dugout. But Garrett Conover comes in, 1, 2, 3, 4 strikeouts and 4 batters faced. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Hayden Christiansen, Hayden Abrams, and Tice Larson all due up for the Spartans as they trail by 1 when we return.
I'm here with Dr. Callie at Castle Valley Orthodontics to talk about common questions regarding braces. Dr. Callie, am I too old for braces?
No, never. We have quite a few adult patients that come into our office to seek orthodontic treatment, whether for the first time or to fix things that might have gotten back to being crooked from not wearing retainers. So age is not a problem. As long as the teeth and gums are healthy, we can do braces. Give us a call today. Castle Valley Orthodontics, 637-2222, and we will schedule you for a free consultation.
It's fun! It's our favorite place.
Strike up family fun for everyone. Gateway Lanes. Families that play together stay together. And Gateway Lanes is your center for fun, cold beer, snacks, and great food. So let Gateway Lanes do the cooking with open and league bowling year-round and Club Bowl Thursday night, 9 till 11:30, with unlimited bowling including shoes. Since 1989, Helper's Hometown Bowling Center, Gateway Lanes, South Main Street in historic Helper, and bowlhelper.com. Let's roll.
You're listening to Emery High School Baseball on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
Wayman remains the pitcher for the Wildcats. He's been able to work out of trouble over the last couple of innings. Emery trailing by 1, and the leadoff man is Hayden Christiansen. He swings away at a high pitch, about shoulder high for strike 1.
Now, if you're Richfield, you want to see Wayman start the inning right instead of finish it strong like he has been. He's done an excellent job avoiding a lot of trouble, bases loaded situations, runners in scoring position. He's maintained his calm, but you want to see him jump out and get some early outs this appearance as the opportunities for the Spartans are starting to run out.
Right now, he finds himself up in the count 1-2. Christiansen lays off the 0-2 after swinging and missing on the first 2 pitches. Wayman trying to go the rest of the way for the Wildcats. And this time he goes high, and Christiansen watches it go by. He tried to squat along with the pitch, but the umpire behind home plate gives Wayman the strike 3 call, and that sits down the leadoff man for the Spartans here in the bottom of the 6th.
Now, when these pitchers have been able to find their off-speed pitches, that's when they've become really lethal. I mean, we've seen throughout the game, no one's really been able to find that rhythm, not getting enough break, not having enough control on it. But like we saw there from Wayman, when it works, it really works.
Well, Hayden Abrams was trying to get a timeout, and they did not give it to him, and he watches strike 1 go by.
Yeah, no, he had his arm out there pretty much from the time he entered the batter's box. I'm surprised they did not give him that timeout.
Umpire was saying that Wayman was already in motion, so he did not allow him the timeout. 1-1 count. Wayman goes off speed and just misses inside of the zone, so Abrams worked his way back in front. 2-1.
Yeah.
1 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning. No one aboard for Emery, trailing by 1. Abrams swings and misses. And now the count is 2-2. Just for those keeping track at home, Garrett Wayman has 6 strikeouts as he has been able to work 4 full innings now of this game. Goes to the outside. Ball 3. He's got another full count.
He's hunting another one of those strikeouts, but the full counts have plagued him. This is the 6th full count he's faced through those 4 innings.
Abrams gets a piece to stay alive, puts it in foul territory over by the Emery dugout down the first base line. Wayman came in the 2nd inning. He went 2/3 of that frame. He's pitched 3 solid since, and he's got 1 out here in the 6th inning. Pitch on the way, and Abrams is rung up on a full count. He thought he was going to get ball 4. Umpire says no. It pegs the outside corner for out number 2 and the 2nd strikeout of the inning for Wayman.
And both teams have had some words for the umpires in this inning, feeling like the strike calls have been questionable. From up here, it looks like he's kept a very consistent zone, so that's all you can really ask for is that it stays consistent.
No one aboard, 2 down in the bottom of the 6th inning. Tice Larson comes to the plate. And he has strikeouts in his last 2 at-bats.
It's been a Jekyll and Hyde effort from Wayman. Either we're seeing a true ace up there on the mound, or we're seeing someone who's walking 3 consecutive batters. Just an incredible showing from him at times.
0-2 count now off a foul ball.
And if he can go 3 up, 3 down.
Part of the lineup for Emery started with the man batting out of the 2 spot, Hayden. Now we've worked it to the cleanup, and there's a strike 3 on a swing and a miss for Larson. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Garrett Wayman, who continues to dazzle.
Yeah, after the start he had to those last 2 innings loading the bases, I wasn't expecting him to come out in this being a little weary armed and go 1, 2, 3, but he has defied expectations up there. What an inning from Wayman.
He's got 7 strikeouts on the afternoon, and now Richfield will look for an insurance run as we go to the top of the 7th inning. They lead Emery 6-5, due up for the Wildcats. Fountain, Curtis, and Jensen when we return on 107.3 FM and 750 AM. It's Emery High School Baseball and our game of the week.
JN Auto says it's time to get in the auto buying game. JN Auto is a game changer when you're looking for a new vehicle but don't want to pay the new vehicle price. By making JN Auto a part of your team, you can count on finding quality, gently used vehicles with manufacturer warranties and unbeatable prices. You just found the secret to finding the perfect vehicle. It's JN Auto. Check out their huge inventory at jnautosales.com. JN Auto in Huntington and Price.
Imagine a smooth, hassle-free journey to the front door of your new home with the Driggs Mortgage Team guiding you every step of the way. Hi, this is Greg Driggs. Our seasoned experts understand the ins and outs of home financing and refinancing. Come visit us at our new permanent address, 8 East Main and Price, where we plan to be a staple for years to come. Start your journey today. Call 801-427-3577. The Driggs Mortgage Team, NMLS number 272076, Equal Housing Opportunity. Driggs Mortgage Team is a DBA of Premier Mortgage Resources, LLC, NMLS 1169.
Emery High School baseball continues on the home of the Spartans.
News Talk 107.3 FM and 750 AM KOAL.
We go to the top of the 7th inning. Garrett Conover, who has faced 4 batters, and he's fanned them all, will remain on the mound for Emery. Due up for the Wildcats, Malik Fountain, along with Jess Curtis and Fisher Jensen. Fountain will step to the plate, 1 of 3 so far this afternoon. He does have an RBI. He singled back in the first inning. He had a fly out to left field in the third, and he had an RBI on a fly out to right field going back to the 4th inning. Proved to be a big one for the Wildcats, and now they'll search for that insurance run, although Conover has been virtually unhittable since coming in the relief effort for Trevin Gilbert.
Yeah, you want Conover to keep that magic alive. He's thrown with a lot of velocity. Like you said, every batter he's faced has resulted in a strikeout. Now, if he can stop an insurance run from coming in, he could do the Emery offense a whole lot of favors.
Well, he jumped ahead of every single batter faced in the 6th inning, and he continues that trend on a swing and a miss for Fountain here in the 7th. 0-1 pitch. On the way, this one is inside and high for ball 1.
That's a rare miss from Conover early in the count. Just nods things back up, though.
He's made it very easy for Tice Larson behind home plate. This one is high, and he falls behind in this count 2-1.
And he's trying to go to those off-speed pitches. He wants to see a little more break on these curves. Still throwing with a lot of velocity, just not getting the movement that he wants to see.
2-1. Conover trying to draw it even, and he'll get it off a foul ball.
And this is a situation where Conover tends to excel. He's doing an excellent job in these even count situations or full count situations in getting these batters to sit down.
2-2 on the way from Conover. Pitch is out of the zone. A good eye by Fountain, who doesn't chase, and now we're full. The first time, I believe it's the first time it's been a full count for Conover.
I believe it's, yeah, no, you're right. It is the first time this has been a full count. Normally, he hasn't found himself in these situations, sitting these batters down very quickly.
Wayman has worked his way out of multiple full counts. Conover does draw contact. First time someone's done that to Conover. This one is back, all the way to the wall in left center, and Fountain will lead off this inning with a double and put a runner in scoring position for the Wildcats. Couldn't tell if that one was going to taper over the fence, but it bounces on the warning track. It hits the wall, and now the Wildcats are in business with no outs.
First hit allowed by Conover this game, and that's the one problem to his pitching style. He throws with a lot of velocity, but the harder you throw, the harder the people are going to be able to hit, especially when you're relying on that fastball like he does. But still time to get himself out of the situation, not allow any runs. Only one runner on base. Mound visit called there. Just a quick conversation between Larson and Conover.
Gilbert went 4 2/3. And then we had Conover come in, and so far he's gone 1 1/3. Now dealing with the first time he's had a runner in scoring position, as Curtis will come to the plate where he is 2 of 3. A lot of hits for this Richfield team this afternoon, 13 on the day. And Conover puts this one low and out of the zone, and that will allow Fountain to advance to third freely.
And now Fountain knocking on heaven's door again, trying to get that insurance run for the Wildcats, put them ahead by 2.
Well, we saw Conover go 1 2 3 last inning. Could use it right here to get Emery out of this jam. Richfield has left a grip of runners on base, not quite as many as Emery has, but so far they've left 6 aboard. And Conover, did he work for a strike? He did. As Curtis tried to hold back, but he breaks. Counts now 1 ball, and we got 1-1 is the count. Make it 1-2 on a swing and a foul ball.
And right now, the stat you're going to circle, regardless of which team wins, is the amount of runners that have been stranded on base, especially those stranded in scoring position, especially for Emery right now. Bases loaded situation, several in scoring position a few innings ago, just haven't been able to capitalize.
4th and 5th innings. There's a swing and a shot, and this one will go into left center. Goes right over Trig Jensen's head in the gap, and the throw by Nielsen in. Holds the runner at first, but not before Malik Fountain gives the Wildcats that insurance run on an RBI single by Jess Curtis as he planted that ball right in the gap, right over the top of Jensen's head, and then it found its way into left center for a big RBI. Wildcats now lead 7-5.
And that's the spot where the last 2 batters have been able to find. Just the magic has run out for Conover after sitting all those batters down. Hasn't been able to recapture that here in the 7th.
Pickoff throw over to first. Boy, it was close, but not in time. And so a fresh count stepping up. Fisher Jensen, the catcher for Richfield. He's 1 for 3. Got a fly out to center field in his last at bat. He struck out in the 3rd. Or excuse me, he singled in the 3rd. He struck out in his, going back to the first inning. So he has been productive, at least finding contact.
That's been the story all season long for him. A 406 hitter on the year. Comes with 13 hits through 51 plate appearances.
He takes ball 1. So Conover behind in the count. Thought about the pickoff throw over to first. A little bit of a hesitation. And that allows Curtis to slide back safely.
It was a hesitation from everyone all around Conover on the mound. And Curtis, to try and get back, he had to do a little quick foot action to try and reverse directions.
This pitch goes high, airmailed over the top of Larson, and so that is a free base for Jess Curtis. He'll advance on the wild pitch. That's the first wild pitch from Conover.
And you can tell that the velocity is starting to catch up to Conover up on the mound. Just doesn't have the same magic that he had through his first 2 outings.
Well, he can find it again. A mound visit. We'll pause action for a moment. 2-0 count. And again, the man up to bat right now, it is Fisher Jensen, the catcher. No one out here in the top of the 7th inning. On deck, it is Kelby Rickenbach. Also Griffin Wayman and Hayden Reed. Those would be the next 3 batters for Richfield. They're in the heart of the lineup. Emery on the flip side. Due up is Trig Jensen, Trevin Gilbert, and Garrett Conover. You're going to need to work at least 2 runs. Emery trying to minimize the damage. Conover remains out on the mound. And again, stepping up, it's Fisher Jensen with a 2-0 count.
And again, you're playing for your life right now, trying to stop that lead from becoming insurmountable. Now, you can have a mass scoring explosion in the bottom of the 7th, but the chances of that, the more and more runs that Richfield can score this inning, make that farther and farther out of reach.
2-0 count. Getting a lead over at second. It is Curtis who has an RBI already to his name here in the inning. Conover will take a look. and now goes to the delivery and misses on the outside. Count is now 3-0.
That one just didn't get enough movement up top. He tried to get him with the off-speed curve, but couldn't find that top of the zone.
.3-0 count. Showing bunt now at the plate, pulls it back, and tried to pull it back, but I think it made contact with the top of the bat, didn't it?
That's what it looked like from up here.
That's what they're going to talk about.
Yeah, no, it looked like it bounced off the top of the bat of Jensen. Gotta love when a play gets a little too confusing, so everyone has to take a timeout and try and figure it out.
They go talk about it, and they say it's exactly what happened. They'll rule it a foul ball, so he'll have to come back. Fisher Jensen now with a 3-1 count. Conover will have a little bit of extra life. Curtis will also work his way back to second. Definitely not a bad idea to bunt. 3-1 count. It's also a hitter's count, so.
Yeah, no, there really is no wrong decision right now.
No, you can swing away, you can lay down a bunt, and Richfield's still a little bit confused on the last call, and so they're asking for an explanation.
Yeah, they're having their fair share of words with the umpires. Both sides have today, but I think overall it's been a very fairly called game.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like the most passionate of conversation, though.
No.
Not a lot of emotion showing. You know, that's the kind, I'm sure, as a manager and as an umpire that you like to have, but it's a little more fun when things get animated, you know, red-faced on the field, screaming at each other, fists flying, ejections left and right. You don't see it very often, but it's always entertaining when you do.
Maybe more for us than anyone down on the field. Here's the 3-1 from Conover, and a swing and a miss, and that's the stuff that Garrett started with as he came in a relief effort. Has a chance to get out of this one 3-2 and earn that first out. Again on deck is Kelby Rickenbaugh.
And that extended timeout probably doing a little favors. Let you regain your composure just a little bit. Let that arm loosen up.
Big lead at second. 3-2 on the outside. Just missed. And there's that free base for Jensen. It was an open bag. No harm, no foul, as that lead runner is what you really got to worry about. 7-5 the score right now. No down. And Kelly Rickenbaugh will come up where he is 2 for 3. Had an RBI in the 5th inning. Did ground out in the 3rd, but had an RBI single in the 1st.
Looks like a pinch runner coming in for Richfield.
The courtesy runner, it'll be Jack Albrecht, the junior.
Wanted to get a little speed on those bases. That's probably a glimpse into the strategy we're going to be seeing from the Wildcats right now. And, I mean, with no outs, you can be a little more aggressive.
So right now the situation for Emery. They trail 7-5, top of the 7th inning, no outs, Wildcats up to bat. Runners at first and second, so one in scoring position. Conover has allowed one earned run so far in this outing. He goes with a fastball and draws a swing and a miss for strike one.
And ever since the bottom of the 2nd inning, Emery has been held scoreless. Their bats just haven't been the same since the start of this contest. Richfield, however, has maintained some consistency.
Emery's had the opportunities, left bases loaded 1 inning and left 2 runners aboard in scoring position in another. The 0-1, a swing and a miss once again. Conover right now just going with the smoke, and he's found himself up in this count 0-2.
And that's where he found his advantage early on, was through the heater. And now that he's gone back to it, you can see the results starting to shift in his favor.
0-2 count. Trying to work for out number 1. High, and boy, Rickenbaugh just barely lays off on that check swing.
That was a close call for him, nearly breaking that plane, but umpire says it isn't so, and he gets to stay alive another day at the plate.
1-2 count. 2 aboard, runner at first and second. Rickenbaugh again, the batter. He swings and he whiffs, and that is strikeout number 5 for Garrett Conover, and a huge out number 1.
And it looks like he's been able to bounce back. That extended timeout doing him a little favor as they argued over whether or not that ball hit the bat. but he's started to settle back into this contest, doing a good job finding that strike zone as he fans another batter.
Well, we've reached a spot in this inning where a ground ball could get Emery out of it. 1 out. Runners at first and second, and Griffin Wayman steps to the plate. First pitch is high for ball 1. Wayman so far has a semi-productive day. He reached via an error in second inning. He did strike out on the third, but did make contact in the fifth inning. Definitely outstanding in the field in this game. Watch ball 2 go by.
And in the field is where he's had his biggest impact. Like you said, he's making great plays out there in left field. Having a good defensive showing. You got to love when a team has a player like that. Someone who you're not necessarily relying on for offense, but can get the job done no matter what you ask of him defensively.
Well, he's a kid in basketball who has essentially been a 4-year contributor. Remember back when he was a freshman getting in on the action for the basketball team. Very consistent.
Yeah, talk about him on basketball. He haunts my nightmares. It felt like every time I called the Carbon game against Richfield, he'd drain about 7 threes in a row. He is a flamethrower.
Yeah, he is. All-around athlete. 2-0 count here for Conover. This one goes high as well, and now it's a 3-0 count. All 3 balls have just missed up high. So we'll see if Wayman lays off on this one.
They've all been flirting with the zone, just haven't been able to find it. But you don't want to walk the bases loaded here, especially as a comeback still within reach for you.
So far, got a double, a single, a walk, and a strikeout. That's the way things have worked for Richfield and the 4 batters that have stepped to the plate. Scored 1 run. Off 2 hits, and this one is low. Whoa. Thought it was low, but Wayman thought he was going to get a free base. Umpire says no. Bring it back, 3-1 count.
And that bat went flying. He was so confident. That nearly reached the dugout, but gets called back. Has to take the walk of shame. But 3-1 count. It's still in his favor.
Definitely the hitters count, and Conover will take a long look at the runner at second. Go back to work. Pitch on the way. Wayman swings, and he puts this one deep, and this one will take a bounce. It goes over the fence. It will be a ground rule double. So 1 run will score for the Wildcats as Griffin Wayman got a piece of that one, sent it out into left center. It bounced just short of the warning track and took a big hop over that tall wall, and that makes it 8-5. Richfield has extended the lead to 3.
Yeah, no, that left center gap has been where every hit this inning has fallen, and it's been the cause of a lot of pain for the Spartans. Two hits that looked like they were going to fly over. Third one bouncing off the ground, turning into a ground rule double, but still a sticky situation.
2 runs, 3 hits for Richfield in this frame. 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. And there is no double play ball in effect. Up to the plate is Hayden Reed. Reed is 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Had an RBI single in the second. He did pop out on the fourth, and he struck out on the fifth. And he watches strike 1 go by here in the top of the 7th inning. Swings at the second pitch, and this one gets through into the outfield, and it will go all the way back to the foul pole. That'll score not 1 but 2 runs, and that's a stand-up double for Hayden Reed. And that is a huge shot as the Wildcats have now doubled up Emery 10-5 with a 4 spot so far in the 7th and only 1 down.
You know, the wheels have fallen off the wagon for Emery. They enter this inning only down 1 and a chance to try and come back into this contest, but now it keeps getting further and further out of reach as more runners reach home base for the Wildcats. Putting on an offensive clinic right now. 4 runs in this inning, their most productive outing offensively this contest.
Well, so far, 4 runs, 4 hits. They have 1 on base right now with 1 down here in the top of the 7th inning. Stepping up, it's Slate Wrights. And they're actually flirting with hitting around in this inning. It'd be the first time that either team has done that so far.
And it's a little shocking, too, based on the hot start Conover had. Every batter he faced up until this inning, he sat down, but now the magic has ran out. The clock struck midnight, so to say.
10-5 swing on the 0-1, and Conover now leads this count 0-2.
Now with the offensive power that they've had this inning, the confidence is at an all-time high, but it does result in some ill-advised swings, a little less patience in the box.
0-2, Conover looking for his 6th strikeout of the afternoon. There's the 0-2. This one's high and out of the zone. So it's a 1-2 count.
He just needs to find the zone one more time, get another out, and start avoiding a little more damage. Going to be a runner on second still, though.
Here comes the 1-2 on the way for Conover, and he gets a swing and a miss for his 6th strikeout of the afternoon. That's a big second out for the Spartans. Again, it's been a huge inning for the Wildcats. Their biggest of the game. They put up a 4-spot, 2 down, 1 runner in scoring position.
And Wrights in his last 2 appearances against Conover was sat down, but now stepping up to the plate is Bridger Vincent.
Vincent 1 for 2. So far in this game, and he takes strike 1.
Now, Conover has found a rhythm against the bottom half of the Richfield lineup. Bottom half that up until he came into the game had found a lot of success.
Big lead over at second for Reed. And a swing, and Vincent puts it in foul territory. So again, Conover goes up 0-2. He's been dominant when it's been an 0-2 count. Hasn't let many off of the hook.
And when he's got ahead, he's been lethal, but that just unfortunately hasn't been the case for him through the top half of Richfield's lineup.
Typically, it's been difficult for him when the counts have gone deep. 3-2 counts, 2-2 counts. When he's jumped ahead, he's had a lot of success. Huge lead for Reed over at second. And we have time called behind home plate.
Ice in the pitcher there, trying to draw him off balance.
Conover on the pitch. It's a swing, and was there contact? I'm not quite sure.
And they call it foul.
I think they called it a ball.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know how they say that Vincent didn't break on that, but instead it's a ball. Now it's a 1-2 count. 1-2 on the way, and Conover that time works inside for another strikeout, number 7 on the afternoon. Well, the damage is done. Richfield in that inning scores 4 runs off 4 hits, 1 runner left aboard, and we will go to the bottom of the 7th. Emery's going to need a little bit of magic. They trail by 5. Due up for the Spartans, Trig Jensen, Trevin Gilbert, and Garrett Conover when we return on the high school baseball game of the week here on 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
When it comes to doing spring projects around the house, I like to do it myself.
You mean we. You, me, and Central Commission. Honey, you know you're all thumbs.
Guilty. So that's why we get all the helpful advice from Central Commission needed to get our DIY projects done right.
Plus all the lumber, hardware, plumbing, electrical, paint, and more at just one store. And at prices we can afford.
See the helpful pros today at Central Commission, North Main Street, Helper.
435-472-5579.
Picture this. A sudden burst pipe, flames engulfing your kitchen. Disaster strikes when you least expect it. But fear not, because Restore Wizard of Price is here to save the day. Their team of restoration experts is ready to tackle any fire or flood emergency from start to finish. They're not just here to fix the damage, they're here to restore your peace of mind. Don't let disaster catch you off guard. Call Restore Wizard of Price, 637-9165. Restore Wizard, the magic of a fresh start.
You're listening to Emery High School Baseball on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
The Spartans down to their final 3 outs, trailing 10-5 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Have not plated a run since the 2nd. Leading off is Trig Jensen, the shortstop, and he swings and misses on a ball a little bit high, maybe out of the zone. As Garrett Wayman remains out on the mound for the Wildcats, who has been just outstanding since coming into this game.
And Wayman, it feels like as the game has progressed, has gotten better and better. I mean, last inning we saw him go 3 up, 3 down with 3 strikeouts. Just a stellar performance. He had the flaw of struggling early on in innings, but every time he found himself in a jam, he was able to escape it.
1-1 count, then a swing and a miss for Trigg. Trigg right now 1 for 3. Did have a single in the first inning. And he strikes out swinging for the second consecutive time, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th.
And you can kind of see the desperation starting to pile up in these Emery batters. You're facing a very sticky situation, doubled up in the bottom of the 7th. You need to make contact, but it's hard to stay calm when the situation is this dire.
Yeah, you got to get hits. You're not going to come back from a 5-run deficit by watching strikes go through. And the one thing that Wayman has done so well since coming in is he has pounded the strike zone in a variety of different ways. Some contact for Gilbert. So the count now goes to 1-1. 7 strikeouts for Garrett Wayman as well.
Like you said, he's found a variety of ways to find that strike zone. Finally got the breaking ball working. That was a game changer for the Wildcats.
Here's a shot for Gilbert, and this one will find some green, and Emery's got a runner aboard as Gilbert will put one out into left field. So 1 runner aboard. Emery needed a runner in the worst way. Gilbert comes through with a single.
And that's what you need to do to start a rally. All it takes sometimes is just one person reaching base, inspiring confidence in the rest of your teammates, helping that battle-back effort. Now, it's a big battle effort, granted, but Emery is a team who does have the capability to do that. They can put up runs pretty efficiently. We look at the bottom of the first where they scored 3. They can replicate that performance, and then some. They can knot this game back up or take the lead.
Garrett Conover will come to the plate. Conover so far 0 for 2. He does have a walk. He struck out twice, once swinging, once looking. First pitch from Wayman. It's a swing, and Conover pokes it to second. Out number 1. Throw over to first in time for the double play, and that's the way the game will come to an end off a 6-3 double play to close things out for the Wildcats.
Yeah, you give a lot of credit to Vincent there. He tracked that ball extremely well off the bounce. Tags second, makes the throw to first to secure that double play. Richfield just came alive in the latter half of this game, but outside of that, they remained consistent was the main thing. You look at the scoreboard, you only see 2 scoreless outings. Other than that, they're putting up 2-1 innings, but that top of the 7th is where they crack this one wide open with that 4-run performance.
You don't see a 6-3 too often to end the game, but that ball was hit right up the middle. As you called it, picked up by Vincent, able to tag second, made the throw over to first in time, and that is all she wrote. Emery was shut out over the final 5 frames, and they dropped this one tonight 10-5. Falling in a region tilt with the Richfield Wildcats in an important 7 versus 10 matchup, the first of 2 meetings this week between the 2 teams. We're going to send it back to the studio for just a moment. When we return, we'll recap this one. The Wildcats stop the Spartans this afternoon at Emery High School 10-5, and we're back with more right after this.
Step up to the plate with Eastern Utah Community Credit Union. Just like baseball, managing finances is all about making smart plays. Whether you're aiming for a home run with a new home loan or stealing second with unbeatable auto loan rates, our team is here to coach you through every financial inning. Slide into our branch today and let's hit a financial grand slam together. Eastern Utah Community Credit Union, where everyone gets VIP treatment.
Membership and eligibility required. NCUA insured. Loans approved on credit. Equal housing lender.
At A Perfect Smile, they specialize in transforming your smile with precision and care. From porcelain veneers and dental implants to orthodontics, crowns, and bridges, their expertise covers every aspect of general and cosmetic dentistry. Dr. Jackson and his team are here to address even the most challenging dental concerns, helping you achieve a smile you'll love. Ready for a smile makeover? Call A Perfect Smile today, 637-2100, to schedule an appointment.
When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, then buy from your friends so you can depend on. Hi, this is Oscar Martinez, Sales Manager at Blue Diamond GM. I was raised here and this is my home. Blue Diamond GM is your hometown dealership with parts, sales, and service. We can take care of your vehicle no matter what part of the journey you're on. Come in today and check out our new and used vehicles. We pride ourselves in taking care of you because you are friends and family for a lifetime.
Is it time to trade in the old and get something new? If you've been driving by the dealerships, scoping out the selection, and you're not seeing what you want, Auto Farm Price Ford is here to help. Hi, I'm Justin Kennedy, sales manager here at Auto Farm Price Ford. Stop by today and let us pre-order your dream vehicle. You can choose every bell and whistle straight from the factory. Best of all, when your vehicle's done, it will be delivered right to the dealership, so stop by to Auto Farm Price Ford, 811 Westwood Boulevard. Let us order your dream vehicle today.
It's fun! It's our favorite place.
Strike up family fun for everyone. Gateway Lanes. Families that play together stay together. And Gateway Lanes is your center for fun, cold beer, snacks, and great food. So let Gateway Lanes do the cooking with open and league bowling year-round and club bowl Thursday night, 9 till 11:30, with unlimited bowling including shoes. Since 1989, Helper's Hometown Bowling Center, Gateway Lanes, South Main Street in historic Helper, and bowlhelper.com. Let's roll.
JN Auto says it's time to get in the auto buying game. JN Auto is a game changer when you're looking for a new vehicle, but don't want to pay the new vehicle price. By making JN Auto a part of your team, you can count on finding quality, gently used vehicles with manufacturer warranties and unbeatable prices. You just found the secret to finding the perfect vehicle. It's JN Auto. Check out their huge inventory at jnautosales.com. JN Auto in Huntington and Price.
You're listening to Emery High School Baseball on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
Time for the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union post-game wrap-up show here on our game of the week. Emery at home taking on the Richfield Wildcats, and this one was back and forth early on, but it was Richfield that put together a brilliant defensive performance following the second frame. And Aiden, they made life very, very difficult on this Emery offense as they pick up the win 10-5.
That they did. Garrett Wayman comes into the game, completely flips the script, pitches several shutout innings, comes in, just dominant performance from him. But you got to give a lot of credit to the offense of the Wildcats coming alive when they needed to most. They were looking for maybe one insurance run in the top of the seventh, but they come away with four, doubling up the Spartans.
I know you look up at the scoreboard and you say Emery was blanked for 5 consecutive innings. Forget about that. They went 4 innings between the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth frame without getting a single hit. That's what really flipped this game. Now, Trevin Gilbert did pull through with a single in the 7th inning. We were hoping that would spark a little Spartan magic. That was not the case. They struggled to put the ball in play. Garrett Wayman was absolutely outstanding in his relief performance to get the win tonight.
That he was. And, you got to give a lot of credit to the Spartans, though. Early on in the game, they had the bats coming alive, inspiring a lot of hope, putting up 5 through the first 2. But since then, like you said, they struggled to put ball to bat. But defensively, they did have a few good outings. I mean, Garrett Conover comes into the game, throws 7 strikeouts in a relief effort, just isn't enough in the end.
Again, just absolutely outstanding in this game. Wayman comes in with 1 out in the 2nd inning and pitched the rest of the way. He really kept Emery off balance. He also had 7 strikeouts, only walked 4. He hit 1 batter. Emery, however, left a lot on base, and I think that's going to be the story in this game. You go back into the middle frames, the 4th and the 5th inning. Emery left bases juiced in the 4th, and then they left 2 runners on in the 5th. That right there might have been a big difference.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That's going to be the story of this game. And the stat you're going to circle is the amount of runners left on base. Especially, like you said, a bases-loaded situation, runners in scoring position. It's hard to come back from that when you don't score any runs from those opportunities that were kind of handed to you. You gift-wrapped.
For Emery, we saw Trevin Gilbert early on. He goes 4 2/3 in this game. He did allow 12 hits and 5 earned runs. They score 6 on his watch. Only 5 were earned. He struck out 2 batters. Emery then got a solid relief pitching performance from Garrett Conover. He comes in and immediately set him down. In fact, he struck out the first 4 batters that he faced in this game. He did allow 4 hits and 4 earned runs, and he finished with 7 strikeouts and a limited performance, a limited effort, I should say, based on when he came in the game, because, again, you get 4 2/3 out of Trevin Gilbert.
Yeah, no, you talked to manager Chase Julian before the game. They were going to try and get everything out of Trevin that they could, and they did, but you reach a certain point where you need to make that change.
As far as Emery's performance at the box, the back half of the lineup did struggle to make contact, although Peyton Nielsen had a big double early on. He also drew a walk. He scored a run. I thought that Peyton did well batting out of that 9 spot, but he only got 3 at-bats. Only 2 are going to qualify because 1 was a walk, but that's in 7 innings. That's how spectacular Wayman was. The fact that our 9-hole hitter only saw 3 at-bats and 2 that'll qualify, that's a big deal.
Yeah, especially in a high school game. That's an impressive stat line for Wayman. Like you said, coming in, he changed everything in this game. Every time he found himself in a jam, he was able to navigate out of it. The kid's got resilience, so you got to give him that if nothing else. But on top of that resilience, he is a spectacular pitcher. He was finding every way he could to get these batters to either bite or find the strike zone.
Final score in this one here at Emery High School. The Spartans fall to the Wildcats 10-5. Second to last home game. Emery does have another region tilt with Carbon next week. This Friday, only one more game, and that'll be, or this week I should say, only one more game. On Friday, they'll take on Richfield on the road, and that will definitely be a very important game. Coming into tonight's action, the way things shaped out, Canyon View, the number 1 team in the state, Union 2, Juab 3, Morgan 4, Manti 5. Then you work outside of that top 5. It was Grantsville at 6, Emery 7, Delta 8, Providence Hall 9, Richfield 10. Emery loses to the 10th seed. Now, the one thing that has really worked in Emery's favor, they have the toughest schedule in all of 3A. If you look at the opponent's winning percentage, it's not even close. There's no one even remotely close to Emery, and that's why a team that now sits 6-12 overall would be inside of the top 7. It's because of that opponent's winning percentage, which has been off the charts. And the formula the RPI uses bodes well for Emery.
Yeah, no, you'd rather take a tough loss than an easy win when it comes to the RPI. That helps decide some of these closer schedules, but you need to start doing yourself a little favors in these next 3 games. You need to come away with at least 1 or 2 wins, because right now you're flirting with that home field advantage. Another loss this week and 2 losses next week, that really hurts your case.
Well, the problem with that is Richfield comes into tonight's game with a record of 6-12. They moved to 7-12, but when you look at the opponent's winning percentage, it will drop as Richfield is 5 games under 500.
You know, it hurts them in the math, too, losing to a team like Richfield. Now, if this was a team, like you said, like those Mantis, those Juabs, this is one that you probably would have stayed pat. You would even have had a chance to bump up. But with the strength of schedule remaining, it's going to be a tall task for Emery and one that they're going to need to come away with some wins during.
That'll do it for the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union post-game wrap-up show. Full recap coming your way at CastleCountryRadio.com. Richfield picks up the big region win over Emery. The final score in this one tonight, 10-5. These 2 teams will battle again on Friday, but the venue will shift. We'll head to Richfield. We'll also be back next week as Carbon and Emery will wrap up the regular season with 2 games against one another. Carbon did pick up a win earlier today, 1-0 in 8 innings. So there was your pitcher's duel from earlier today. This one a little bit more high scoring. Final score in this one, 10-5. For Aiden Mortensen, I'm Jordan Buscareni, and as always, go Spartans.
Emery High School baseball continues on the home of the Spartans.
Talk 107.3 FM and 750 AM KOAL.
It's time you started working close to home. GMS Mine Repair and Maintenance is looking for experienced miners, mechanics, electricians, and surveyors to fill local jobs. Stop traveling every week and let GMS Mine Repair and Maintenance find you a job closer to home and your family. No more leaving your family every week traveling to a work site. There are good paying jobs right here close to home, and GMS Mine Repair and Maintenance can help you get started today. Email your resume to kbarker@gmsminerepair.com. Your new job close to home is waiting for you.
When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, then buy from your friends so you can depend on. Hi, this is Oscar Martinez, sales manager at Blue Diamond GM. I was raised here and this is my home. Blue Diamond GM is your hometown dealership with parts, sales, and service. We can take care of your vehicle no matter what part of the journey you're on. Come in today and check out our new and used vehicles. We pride ourselves in taking care of you because you are friends and family for a lifetime.
Step up to the plate with Eastern Utah Community Credit Union. Just like baseball, managing finances is all about making smart plays. Whether you're aiming for a home run with a new home loan or stealing second with unbeatable auto loan rates, our team is here to coach you through every financial inning. Slide into our branch today and let's hit a financial grand slam together. Eastern Utah Community Credit Union, where everyone gets VIP treatment.
Membership and eligibility required. NCUA insured. Loans approved on credit. Equal housing lender.
You're listening to Emery High School Baseball on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM.
Well, before we close out the broadcast, we're going to catch up with Emery baseball manager Chase Julian, who is joining us right now in the broadcast booth. We'll talk about this game, and we'll talk about what lies ahead for the team. And, Coach, first off, it's great to get you up here. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Definitely, Coach. I know that's kind of a tough outing. You and I were talking a few moments ago about how difficult it was to kind of muster up some hits in this game after the second inning. Garrett Wayman comes in for Richfield and really kept the offense off balanced.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a few calls that kind of got in our boys' heads with strike zones, and I didn't do a very good job myself of not getting them together. We got a few bad calls, and then we kind of let it get to us, and there was a 3-4 inning stretch there that we couldn't muster a hit, let alone a run out there.
When you and I talk, it's typically about basketball, right, during the long winter seasons, and we go over key moments in games. I do want to get your perspective on leaving bases loaded in a game that is hanging in the balance and how deflating, how big of a momentum change that can be in baseball. I don't know that we talk about momentum changes as often in baseball, but that's a huge swing.
Yeah, it is, and I think we had 11 base runners left on base today. So we've got to find a way. We had a bad two-strike approach today. We were swinging for fences instead of swinging to put balls in play. Richfield did a good job at putting balls in play with 2 strikes, and we didn't. So, I mean, ultimately, it comes down to you got to be willing when you get 2 strikes on you to do whatever it takes to get on base, whether you get hit by a pitch, get battling in there and take a pitch opposite. You just got to work the count until you either get a hit or get on somehow.
I want to talk about the pitching performances tonight. We'll start with Trevin. He did work himself out of a couple of jams. Did pitch to a lot of contact today. How did you assess the way Trev pitched for you out of the starting spot?
He didn't do bad. He's been dealing with an arm issue all year long, and he's pitched well at times. And he struggled with command sometimes. I left him in there. I had a kid. We had a kid on first base. I leave him in there because the kid that was batting behind him had 2 ground balls. So I left him in there to try to get us a double play. And story of our year so far, we make an error and get the runner to second, and then they advance him on a fly ball on fly out to center. They advance from second to third. They end up scoring that run. I put G in, or Garrett Conover, to finish out the inning. They score 1 there. Ultimately, it didn't matter. They scored 4 in the last, but might have left him in a little too long. But I mean, Trev battles for us all the time. Every time he goes in there, so he does a good job for us. He's a senior. I was hoping he'd step up and just give us all he could for that last inning, but he just didn't quite have enough to finish it out.
You talk about Garrett Conover. He comes in. He actually sits down. First 4 outs of his performance, they were strikeouts. I mean, so he had some great stuff, really provoking the swing and miss. I know the 7th inning wasn't exactly what we would have liked to have seen, but outside of that, I thought that it was a pretty solid effort from Garrett.
It was. He pitched well. Down the stretch, he struggled with command. He ended up throwing fastballs down the middle, and good hitters make you pay for it, and that's what they did with a few. I can't remember, 2. I think they had 2 doubles. 2 doubles that scored 3 runs. So, I mean, we've got to locate. We got to get on top of hitters. Can't be struggling to throw strikes at the first of batters and get behind to where they're sitting fastball and we're throwing fastball. So.
Well, obviously, these next 3 games are going to be huge from a region perspective, Coach. But going into today's game, we're looking at 7th spot right now with the RPI. It puts a lot of emphasis on what's up and coming on Friday.
Yeah, we've got to pick up wins. We've got to pick up wins, and not just for the RPI, but we've got to pick up wins to get us on a roll going into the state tournament. We have some good games that we've played, and then we turn around and. I mean, this wasn't a bad game that we played, but we've got to limit errors. We've got to limit the mistakes. This team is a very hard team to beat when we play clean baseball. And I don't know. I've been racking my brain trying to figure out what to do to get them to play clean baseball. But, I mean, we have glimpses and we play good for stretches. And then we have stretches where the wheels turn off, but come off. And so it'll come. We just got to get there before the state tournament. So,
well, Coach, I do appreciate you taking out the time to come up. Best of luck when you two meet again on Friday. Hopefully, we can talk about a win next week. That'd be great.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
All right, Manager Chase Julian closing things out. Final score again tonight: Emery falling to the Wildcats 10-5, and that'll do it for us here on 107.3 FM and 750 AM. As always, go Spartans.
You're listening to Emery High School Baseball on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM.